Yeah. I wanna build a life worth living. I wanna be rich cause I wanna be given. I feel the time keeps ticking. I wish I had more but I'll take what's given. I just wanna pop cause I've been working a lot. I think I deserve a shot, I think I deserve a spot. Cause it's been years on this path that I walked, and if I keep going I pray I'll be at the top. When I dream big, yeah I commit. Wanted this life since I was a little kid. Never thought twice, I just did what I did. Worked towards it and now I have an addiction. I've been living life like a dream, like it's fiction. I've been doing things like I have no restrictions. I don't plan to stop, no I don't plan on quitting. Everything I do, yeah I do it with conviction. I will never give up, I will never give in. Everything I do, yeah I do it with conviction. I've been on a mission, I ain't never quitting. Everything I do, yeah I do it with conviction. I believe in free will. I make choices that lead to what I build. I will never give up, I will never give in. Everything I do, yeah I do it with conviction. Give me a minute, I need to test out my limits. Like I'm descending to Guinness, I'm breaking records, I'm finished. I feel like I keep on winning. If I don't stop once a minute, I'm moving forward, I mentioned. But this is just the beginning. I've learned a lot of lessons, I've had a lot of blessings. My friends know I'm obsessive, they be chilling, I be stressing. But I don't second guess it, I'm loving every second. I see my life progressing, so I spend time investing. When I dream big, yeah I commit. Wanted this life since I was a little kid. Never thought twice, I just did what I did. Worked towards it and now I have an addiction. I've been living life like a dream, like it's fiction. I've been doing things like I have no restrictions. I don't plan to stop, no I don't plan on quitting. Everything I do, yeah I do it with conviction. I will never give up, I will never give in. Everything I do, yeah I do it with conviction. I've been on a mission, I ain't never quitting. Everything I do, yeah I do it with conviction. I believe in free will. I make choices that lead to what I build. I will never give up, I will never give in. Everything I do, yeah I do it with conviction.
I wake up every minute with the fever dreams. I push a mind to a limit where it needs to be. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss. See, I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python. Grab what I like real fast, choke until I have everything I attack, everything that I lack, everything that I want, and I see matter of fact.
Cause I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed, and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind you know I'll always manifest it.
Hello and welcome to my Mind Over Your Matter. My name is Rick. Let's turn on the cameras here. Rolling up my medicine here. Getting it ready for tonight's show. I don't have no windows open for news, but we're gonna go. We're gonna figure it out as we go. Just trying to get my medicine. I just literally walked in like not too long ago. That movie was 3 hours and a half. Literally almost like close to 4 hours with the damn previews. Which I didn't mind the previews because they had Mario Galaxy, the preview for the Mario Galaxy that's going to be coming in April, which I'm definitely going to go see. If I'm alive, I would like to go see it. It's I like Mario Brothers, and I actually like the movies. The movies wasn't so bad, so I am very interested to see how that movie is going to be. Plus, they're going to have Rosalina in the movie. That's what's up. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's see here. But we're going to be talking about Avatar because that's the movie I went to go see. And it's called Avatar Fire and Ash. And what's my opinion? What grade? What score would I give it from? Let's do a scale of 100. Okay, and I'll give you my. Well, let's do one. Let's do from 0 to 10. That's much easier. 0 to 10. All right, and I already got the number in my head, so let me write that down. And I give it. Okay, wrote that down, so I'll share that with you in a little bit. Like I said, I just got home. I just rolled up my medicine. I'm just still trying to get myself situated here. I actually went today to Walmart this morning because it was bugging me that I went yesterday to Walmart and I purchased the Pokemon tin cans, right? And I only bought 3 tin cans, and the collection is 5. And I was like, I was kicking myself in the ass last night because I was like, damn, why I just didn't buy the other 2 while I was there? I don't know what I was thinking. I was kind of like in a little rush because I wanted to get out of there. I don't like to be around too many sick people because it's like a really bad flu season and there's a lot of sick people, and I don't want to be around too many sick people. So I just made sure I just got what I needed to get, and I got the fuck out. But when I went to get my Christmas cookies, because there's these certain Christmas cookies that I like, so I saw it and I was like, oh shit, let me get myself, and it was like $2 for a package of these cookies, right? So I went to go get it, and then I went around the aisle, and when I come out to go out, I see the freaking stand there of fucking Pokemon tins. And I was like, I was so happy. And I only got 3, knowing when I got to the car, because I didn't know it was 5 when I was there. When I got to the car and I looked at the tins properly, and then I saw there was a collection of 5, I was like, damn. And then I didn't want to go back in, and then I went home, and then I was like kicking myself all night. I was like, damn, I should have gotten the whole set because it'll be more valuable if I have the whole set. So I went back this morning, and was looking, and oh my God, I got so lucky, and I got the other 2 tins. Ding. I am so happy. So you don't see them, but they're up here. They're on the desk. Find the tins. That's the game right now. If you make your screen nice and big, if you have me on a television, like Kayla probably would have me on the television, if she could open the screen nice and wide and look at the desk, she could see all the Pokemon tins that I have up on here and some of the decks. And I know Terry is holding me some booster packs. Give me 1 second here to check the chat. Hey, what's up, Albie? What's up, Terry? I was just mentioning you here. I hope you had a great day today, you guys. I have not walked into a Walmart in a few years. Walmart is like to hide shit. Yeah, like Walmart likes to hide shit for sure. Like this packs, these tins were hidden. And I'm telling you, they're like the most hidden things. But I went back today and I was so happy that I was like, I picked up some sleeves and some of the top loaders. So I got the top loaders here and then I got the sleeves. So I'm expecting to get some hits. Okay. So I got the sleeves and I got the top loaders and I'm ready. I'm telling you, I'm not going to open them. Not right now. I'm not going to open it. I'm going to be very patient with them. I'm going to try to get a little collection going and then open them up and then see what I got and then hopefully get them graded. And once I get them graded, I have like a little, little something to store for any rainy day that if I want to sell them, I can sell them and make good money. I have even my Troy Aikman card, my rookie card here, like next to me here. Like I can show you guys. Look at my Troy Aikman rookie card, and it's signed. It has a signature on there, and it's numbered, and it's a special card that I have it in this big. Look how thick that glass is. It's like it's a plastic actually, but it's really thick. Like I could kill somebody with this. If I threw this at someone and hit them in the head, they'll be dead. That's for sure. But I have it always nearby, and this is my treasure as a kid. This was one of my biggest pull. I pulled out a Troy Aikman rookie card signed, numbered and signed, and I know it's a 10. I know it's a mid 10 because it's been in this plastic, in this hard like plastic for over. I tell you right now, I got this back in '93. So do the math. 93, just add what, about 33 years? If I'm not mistaken. Wait, no, about 32 years? Yeah, about 32 years. If I hope I got my math right, but 32 years I've been having this card. And there's no mint 10 in the market for this card. And I think I have the only mint 10. I think I have the only one, and it that is the only one. Um, it will be worth a good penny as a mint 10 because I checked on PSA, I checked on Beckett, I checked on a whole bunch of places, even eBay to see if there's any mint 10s, and there's zero, a goose egg, no mint 10s. I'm like, there's only 1,000 cards that were signed, and I have 464. Now, if this is the only one out of all 1,000, oh, I'd be so happy because then I'll hold on to it for us, and I'm gonna keep holding on to it, and I'm probably gonna pass it down to my niece, and this could probably help her out in the future, especially once he passes away. Because this is a two-time NFL champion for the Dallas Cowboys, and he did win back-to-back Super Bowls. So he's a good quarterback. He is a very good quarterback and a good. And now he's a broadcast analyst, like he broadcasts, and I don't know which if he's in which network that he broadcasts for, but I know I have a mint 10 on this one because the way it's sealed in its case. Oh man, this is like no creases, no white, like no blotches, no everything. The centering looks great. This card is like perfect from 1993. I was only 13 years old when I got this card. 13 years old, and I pulled it, and I couldn't believe when I got it. My stepdad was so happy that actually he bought this case for me right at the card store there. It was like, oh, how much is that case? And I forgot how much it was. My stepfather paid for it, and he's like, here, put it in there. So we put the card in there and we sealed it, and it's been entombed for 32 years. Almost. It's going to be 33 years. Just in a few weeks, it'll be 33 years. Pretty cool. Pretty freaking cool. Kayla, what's up? up? How you doing? Yes, you're on my screen. Yes, I made it to the television screen of Kayla's television. Now you can see all the Pokemon like tins. I got a couple of tins over here. It's like, count how many Pokemon I have up here. Good luck, because I got a lot of them up here. And a couple of the Destined Rivals and my Mega Evolutions. And I can't wait to go pick up the Plasma Flames from you guys up there, Terry and Kayla. I'm gonna try to see tomorrow. I'm not sure because it's supposed to rain a lot. My body, like last night, I was hurting so much. I didn't sleep good last night. I had a terrible that remember the head thing that I keep telling you? I had it again. And at the same time that happened, I had an acid reflux attack. I don't know if you ever had that before. And that's weird because I take medicine for it and the medicine didn't work last night for some reason. And I had an acid reflux attack and I couldn't breathe. And I was like, I couldn't breathe. I was like, "Ugh," and I was like, my head and I couldn't breathe. And I was like, the best way to combat that is to breathe slowly. Like, don't try to like take in the air too quick because you're gonna choke. Like, you have to like breathe, like control your breathing and slowly breathe in and out, and it goes away after a certain while. But that sucked for me last night. But we're here to see the review and hear the review of this beautiful. It was beautiful for the picture. It looked great. I mean, Avatar, Fire and Ash, beautiful. Like the picture was so beautiful. We had a little hiccup in the beginning. For some reason, when they started the movie, it was missing like 5 feet of the screen, and it was something with their machine up there that it was off by like 5 feet. So I had to go up and talk to the manager and tell him, listen, the movie just started, but it's missing like 5 feet of the movie. You can't see the movie properly. He was like, oh, for real? I was like, yes. Can you please? Yes, yeah, I got somebody up there. He called them up. He was like, oh, check out screen one because I have someone here that's reporting that like it's missing 5 feet of the screen. And he was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go check it out. So they went and checked it, and sure enough, it was. He was like, "Oh, thanks for letting us know because we could start the movie from right now." I was like, "Yeah," because I didn't want to see the whole movie missing 5 feet of the damn screen. And once I went back to my seat, they restarted the movie again, and it was very beautiful. The picture, CGI has gone really good. I mean, it takes you into the universe of Pandora, and 3 hours and 15 minutes long. 3 hour and 15-minute movie. If you have the patience to sit for probably like 3.5 hours with the previews and stuff, good luck. It's a very long movie. I didn't really see the difference between the last Pandora and this one. This one had like, of course, it was like that fire side, and and these avatars were more aggressive. The red ones, I call them the so-called red avatars. Um, all in all, I just feel like the movie kind of dragged a little bit because it's like the plot wasn't really moving forward as fast as it should. For all these movies to be produced, and this is, I think, the third Avatar movie, it's fucking forever long. Like 3 hours and 15 minutes, the story just kept on dragging. And then, had some action, some good stuff, and it was good. It was okay. Um, okay, Rick, just get to the point. Is it worth going to go watch? Okay, if you have 3 hours and 15 minutes to spare in your life to go watch it, I mean, go ahead. It's not a bad watch, especially I watched it in 3D, which made it more like you were like within the movie. Yeah, everything was like so close and so cool. But it did bother my eyes after like 2 hours. The 3D was bothering my eyes, but I kind of pushed through and made it through. Um, I'm not gonna give any spoilers to the movie, but I feel like this movie could have been a little bit more. I mean, the story should have been produced, like should have been pushed like more into it instead of like dragging out like the middle child type of movie. This felt like the middle child movie, and it didn't really like. I didn't feel like the progression. I just felt like it kind of like stalled, and then at the end, it was kind of like, okay, you don't know if there's going to be another part, because from what I've heard, they will do the next one depending on the sales of this movie. If this movie doesn't produce the like a good amount of ticket sales, and it doesn't reach the amount of money as it should, then they're probably not going to do any more of these avatars, because they want to do, I think, like two more, I believe, or I think it's like three more of them. I'm not sure why they want to do so many, and then 3 hours each. It's like, what the? It's so fucking long. It's like, get to the point, you know. But all in all, I say, yeah, it's a good watch. Make sure you're well rested before going to watch this movie, because this movie will put you to sleep. Just a warning. It will put you to sleep because of the music, the lighting, the movements, the kind of like slow pace a little bit. You'll probably get sleepy, and you probably fall asleep in the theater, especially 3 hours and 15 minutes. There's a guarantee of maybe 70% of you falling asleep. Okay, it's a great movie to fall asleep to. Um, I believe they should continue the story. They should continue on to another movie, but like I said, it all depends on the sales, on the ticket sales of this weekend, and so forth, and how much money that they generate. That's going to determine if they're going to do another one. From a scale from 0 to 10, my number, it's 7.3. 7.3. And the reason why it's 7.3 and not higher than that, for one, 3 hours and 15 minutes. Okay, way too long. I think this movie could have been 2 hours and it would have been fine. Um, I don't know why they doing these long form movies and yet no progression of the movie. And we don't know if there's going to be another one. I mean, the ending of Avatar now, this one, The Fire and Ash, it kind of felt like this is the end of Avatar. Like the music, the way they were showing like the move, like the credits and stuff, it felt like there was no continuation. It felt like, okay, this is probably like the false ending. I hope they do another one, but it all depends on if people go and watch it for the Christmas, and they're hoping maybe they the adults will go watch Avatar and the kids could go watch SpongeBob. I think SpongeBob is probably going to do a lot more better for some reason because of the kids. This Avatar movie, for one, surprised me because it had a couple of like too much curse words, certain curse words, and I was surprised by it because I didn't recall Avatar having curse words in the previous movies, and this one had like there was about a good like 4 or 5 good like bomb like curses, and that I found it kind of weird, especially for a movie that's PG-13 and it's a Disney movie. I didn't really get it, but that's why I was like in the theater. I was like, I never recall Avatar being so like foul mouth. Like I never realized like the other movies that they cursed. Um, not like the way they did in this movie. I was like, and this is PG-13. Okay. Let's see here. 50-inch TV. That's what's up. I get this all the time. I wake up with my chest on fire. Yeah, that's crazy. There's a medication that you got to take for that, and I take it here, and it helps with the acid reflux. Um, you wake up with major migraines, Kayla. No, yeah, I don't know if mine is a migraine or it's just something that's attacking my brain at night because it always happens around 3 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning. That's when my brain gets attacked. So I don't know if it's maybe a spirit that's trying to get my attention or if it's my I don't know if it's a migraine. I just don't know. I'm still trying to get answers of that. I sat through Titanic in the theater, and I'm not doing that again. Titanic was actually a good movie. Titanic was a really good movie. I would sit through Titanic again. Because the movie was like it flowed, it went like left to right, and it was like a perfect one, probably one of the perfect movies in cinema history, and good story, good energy, like everything was so good with that movie. But this one, I mean, I saw the same attacks and the same type of attacks in the last movie of Avatar. It's not any different. They're still riding those little flying things and the little ocean animals and stuff, and you know, I mean, I didn't see much difference between the last one and this one. You'll if you go watch, you'll know what I mean. And if you are a Avatar fan, you and I highly recommend this. And this is for me, just recommending to you guys to the YouTube world. Watch the previous movies before going to watch the Fire and Ash because you need to catch up on what happened in the past and then watch this one. You could go without watching the previous ones, but it will make more sense if you watched it like the other like prequel, the ones the beforehand, and then going to watch this one. But man, that's like how many hours you gotta watch because they're so long. It's like Rick, I'm not gonna fucking watch like 9 hours before I go and watch another 3 hour movie. It's like I understand, I truly do. It's crazy. I don't know why they did that. All right, let's see here. Gone with the Wind. Oh, Gone with the Wind is a great movie. I still watch Gone with the Wind, and I watch it in black and white. You cried at the end. Ah, when Jack died, I cried. Yeah, Jack. The movie, the whole. It was a really great movie. We own Titanic and VHS. Nice. That is a gem. You gotta preserve those movies. I also cried when I watched World Trade Center and Fire. Yeah, it's the World Trade Center movie was that was with what's his name? Oh man, the one from Gone in 60 Seconds. And what's his name? I always forget his damn name. Nicolas Cage. There you go. Oh goodness, my brain takes a moment to process, but it's still processing. Turn on this camera. And on one other thing before I carry on more, I am a NASCAR fan. I used to watch NASCAR back in the 80s and 90s. I grew up watching Dale Earnhardt Sr. And a gentleman that passed away today, and his name is Greg Biffle. And I used to watch him, and he was a champion and a good racer, great person, great personality, very helpful, always a humanitarian. He was always trying to find ways to help people. And today he passed away, all due to a plane crash. And I'm not sure if he was flying the plane or if he had a pilot flying the plane. I'm pretty sure he was flying the plane. And the area was pretty foggy at the time of the accident, and something went wrong because he took off and immediately banked to the left and tried to make a like a return and tried to come back to the airport. And as soon as he tried to come back to the airport and he was lining up for the landing, he ended up crashing on the at the airport, and he passed away, and with his wife and 2 kids. Um, it's such a tragedy before Christmas, and I sent my person to the family, and this is just it was definitely devastating news. Um, and another plane crash. It's like, why risk flying? Because it's like something's happening and they're not telling us, but there's something happening up above, and a lot of planes are just starting to like fall from the sky. And shitty maintenance will do that too. If they don't have proper maintenance, or the maintenance is not at par, you're gonna have like stupid, crazy accidents. And Greg Biffle, great person, passed away way too soon. I don't have any videos popped up yet. Like I said, I just started, and seeing if I can open up some videos here for us to watch. A big one that I would really want us to watch, and you know what? Let me find the. There's so much stuff going on, so much stuff, but I'm gonna get this. Give me one sec. Well, how was your day today, everyone watching? I hope you guys had a great day today. I had a pretty busy day. Um, okay, we're gonna watch a couple of Connecticut news. Um, all right, if you live in New York, you're screwed because a crane hit a bridge in Upper Manhattan, causing major delays for the #1 subway line. If you live in New York and you take the #1 train, you're screwed. um, we could check that out. We could check that news. Also, we got another news here of a rescheduling of a marijuana today, thanks to President Trump. He has reclassified marijuana. So the marijuana classification, House GOP is back against Trump executive orders. So the House GOP is pushing back against Trump executive order of signing the marijuana reclassification. And the only reason why you're getting pushback from the House is because of the money from the pharmaceuticals. Okay, because pharmaceuticals don't like marijuana because they know it works. So something that works, they put the X on it, and we get screwed out. But let's see if I can. I got to do a little setup here. I open up 3 videos, set them up. And I think first start off with the marijuana reclassification of marijuana, because that's what I smoke. I smoke my medicine. I listen every day, twice a day. I have a joint, 0.5 grams. That's all I smoke per joint. So I only smoke 1 gram a day. But it smells so damn good. It smells so good. And I'm going to light it up while Trump signs the executive order of reclassification of my Mary Jane. Look at this. Okay, so let's go ahead and set this up. Okay, let's do a little resizing here. All right, and let's watch. Actually, let's rewind this back because I don't know why I did that.
President Trump.
Here we go.
Signing an executive order earlier today, he reclassified marijuana as a less dangerous drug, a move that could ease regulation and boost research, but it comes as
I own two Dell Senior. Dell Senior was my favorite. I love Dell. When he died, I cried.
Strongly considering a marijuana executive order. So
Ghost is a great movie, Kayla.
News is Mark
You have every right to cry in Ghost.
Of this.
Hey, Mike, good to see you. Merry Christmas, of course. One of the big questions here is about what's next. So the president today signed an executive order which basically directs the attorney general to wrap up the law enforcement review of whether or not to reclassify marijuana. This was a process that started under the Biden administration. Health and Human Services looked at it, kicked it over to the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Agency, which falls under law enforcement. So the attorney general has basically been waiting to see what was going to happen.
Now
the president's executive order says, let's wrap this up and
neighbor,
Schedule 1, marijuana,
help the neighbor,
to a Schedule 3. Schedule 1, of course, is the harshest of drugs that is out there.
That's a positive day right there.
3, which is the equivalent of Tylenol.
It was 53. Yeah, 53
so
today.
Here is that it will still
Tomorrow's supposed to start off a little warm before it drops. Temperature's going to drop.
But
the rain is what's
the
federal
government
me.
To work more with marijuana to see what practical implications.
But I'm gonna make a decision
for
before the end of the show if I'm gonna
Medicare. I think actually I should say Medicare
do the drive.
Is going to look to see what they can do with this for elderly Americans that may have pain. There have, of course, been so many clinical research trials done when it comes to marijuana, but because of the designation, the federal government has had to be a little bit more careful about what studies that support things to that effect. Here, basically, would green light it to go to the same level, except Tylenol with codeine. But you also have to look at here, there is such a political component to this. There were a handful of House Republicans, Senate Republicans who were begging the president, please do not do this. And the president decided to go forward with this anyway.
Yes.
One particular reason the president brought it up today was that he believes that the polling shows the majority of Americans want this to happen. Gallup had a poll that came out in November showing 60% of people believe marijuana should be used recreationally, legalized nationwide. We've seen so many states already go.
For those who are using it responsibly,
back in 2012,
shouldn't be penalized.
Voters legalized it on a ballot initiative, and since then we have seen so many other states go in that same direction.
And Mark, marijuana has often been described by some as a gateway drug. Was that the reason that some of these House Republicans were urging the president to reconsider?
Mike, you're right. This is something that for decades,
you know what's a gateway drug?
Have been pushing this issue.
Fucking alcohol.
Nancy Reagan and the Just Say No campaign that they believe this is a
alcohol is a gateway drug.
A lot of Republicans believe that this is not the right message to send.
Spirits
especially when so many
that's a
kids
gateway
right now
drug.
Are struggling in school, dealing with post-pandemic worlds. Whether or not saying
marijuana
is
safer, I
smoke
2 joints and I could put my show perfectly.
The Oval, he said, well, wait a second. I'm not saying that you should do this, but for those who may need it for
and I smoke on my show every day.
This is what's necessary. And you bring up another great question here is what about the people that all of us rely on every day, whether it's your airline pilot, your bus driver? What will this mean for them? Will they still be, have to have workplace restrictions on what kind of drugs can or can't use? This opens up all sorts of new question, because if it's treated just like for it, could an employer say no, we can't use it? And we just don't know. These are all things that have to get worked out
in the
next several weeks and months. And this EO is just that. It's an executive order. I would bet there is going to be a lawsuit challenging whether or not this change can happen. But this EO,
of course, because the Democrats are going to bring up those
it's not like
lawsuits.
The president himself is saying, "All right, let's just make it Schedule 3."
Yeah, it'll be so interesting to see how it definitely trickles down to really all facets of life. Mark Meredith, thanks so much for joining us on Live Now from Fox. Merry Christmas to you and your family. We always appreciate the updates.
Thanks. Stay warm out there.
Wow. So thank you, Trump. Thank you so much for reclassifying marijuana. I know it's going to go through the hoops and hurdles. I know the Democrats and they try to sneak in some kind of within just the shit that they signed to reopen the government. They put in a little trick to try to tamper with the THC and tamper with the marijuana and stuff. And I think this executive order will trump that, and we'll be able to keep our THCs and CBD and gummies, and I smoke my medicine and I take gummies. So at night I smoke. Okay, I smoke 2 joints, and then before I go to bed, I take a gummy, a edible gummy, and the gummy helps me sleep better at night. It something about it. It just puts you like it's not like melatonin, but it's so the medicine is so kind of like rich that it's like you get sleepy and you fall asleep, and I sleep. I sleep, but then I have this fucking shit in my head, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm being bombarded with signals when I'm sleeping, because the way my head gets attacked at night, it's very disturbing for sure. Let me see here. Let me open some of these things here. Let me set this up. But I'm happy that marijuana has been reclassified. We're gonna see one more of the marijuana. So give me 1 sec to set it up. I'm doing all the steps right now. I didn't have any of the videos up, so I'm doing it as I'm doing the show. I like to do this before the show, so that way it's like a lot more smoother. But it's okay. But I'm so happy that Mary Jane is gonna be legal. Oh, legal. And it's going to help those who, like me, have severe PTSD, those who have chronic pain disorder, like me, those who have glaucoma and cancer. Like, I don't have glaucoma yet, but I do, and I do have a form of cancer in my throat. I was diagnosed with it 2 years ago, and I suffer from Barrett's esophagus. And you can look it up. But in a little remission right now from the throat, and the Barrett esophagus, I still have it, but as long as I can maintain the acid reflux, the better it is for me, because that's what's causing a lot of issues in my throat. Let's see here. Man, I wonder if Benny Johnson. You know what? Let me look for a Benny Johnson on the marijuana. I'm sure he has one. And I also got to open up a liberal hive mind, because I got to watch liberal hive mind. So let's go ahead and I hate YouTube. It's so slow. YouTube has been something's wrong with YouTube. Something's going. I don't know what's really going on with YouTube. YouTube and StreamYard. StreamYard's been doing way too much updates that it's really messing up the system. Ooh, Pokemon card thefts are on the rise. You see, you got to protect your cards. Especially these facilities. We're gonna watch that too. Let me try to pause it if it lets me. Okay, so we got that one. Let's see. I haven't seen the chat yet, but keep chatting away. I'll read the chat when I'm done setting this up. It does take a minute to set this up. Come on, the Rohai. No, YouTube sucks. But I'm not gonna leave YouTube, unless they do something really, really, really bad. I'm stuck with YouTube. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some resizing. I gotta find the Benny Johnson video, so I'm gonna work on that now. And the fact that I'm doing all these changes and these resizing, I cannot see what you guys are writing because it's in another screen. But just bear with me for a minute or two so I could get this all nice and set up for us to watch. And definitely want to see if I could get a Benny Johnson video up here just to see what he has to say about the marijuana. I know he has something probably funny, maybe some Cheech and Chong. I seen Cheech and Chong in person. I've met them both, and I met Chong and his wife at a comedy club. I met Cheech at a dispensary in Massachusetts. He owns with both of them, Cheech and Chong owns a dispensary that's pretty close to the Yankee Candle Village in Massachusetts. And I've been to their store plenty of times. And it's pretty cool. Hold on. Let me see if where's Benny? Benny! Where are you, Benny? I gotta find Benny. Not Brett Cooper. Let's see. Benny. Where are you, Benny? See, I don't like when YouTube does this. They move all my shows around, and then I can't find any of my damn channels. And then you gotta like go hunting for it. Look at where are you, Benny? And I don't have a the keyboard I have doesn't really work properly, and I haven't purchased a new one yet. I got to get one, but I don't want something too big that takes up all my desk. I don't want that. Okay, Benny, why can I find you? All right, let me see if let's see. There it is, Benny Johnson. Damn, he so blends into everything. Let's see here, videos. He has the plane. He has the Epstein. No, he doesn't have anything with the marijuana yet. Huh. Okay. I wonder why he didn't come up with. He had the video of the NASCAR. Yeah, you know what? We could watch that one. New shocking Epstein photos expose everything. All right, we could check that one out too. I wouldn't mind checking that out. What the hell's going on? And they're supposed to like declassify or release something on the 19th. Which is when 3i Atlas makes its closest approach towards Earth. So I don't know. Let me see. I'm about to show that though. This is a pretty long skit. I don't think I could show that. Okay. So here we go. Like I said, I would have had this done before, but like fucking Avatar was so long that I was setting up the show while I was in the theater. I was like, what? Yep. I was setting up the show and trying to get it like ready. And thank God I did get it ready, but of course, the audio, there's audio problems. StreamYard, same shit. Freaking audio problems. Tomorrow's the 19th. Yep, that's true. Tomorrow's the closest approach of 3i Atlas. And I believe tomorrow is a new moon also. So this is going to be the perfect time to view 3i Atlas, because you're not going to have any interference from the moonlight. It's going to be like clear to capture what this object is that NASA can't even take a clear picture of it, which is very disturbing. They could take a picture from space to the ground, and you could hold up a stamp or even a penny, right? You could hold up a penny, and from space with their satellites, they could beam it down and they could read you the year it was made. Like you could put a dollar bill up and they'll tell you all the serial number of the dollar bill. But then they can't show you a proper picture of an object that's passing in our atmosphere, in our galaxy, and in our universe, pretty much. Like it's past Mars, it's heading towards like Jupiter, and it's making its closest approach to Earth as of tomorrow. It's crazy, right? Let me see. Do I have anything on the 3i Atlas? Let me see. Okay, well, good. Let me now. What I'm doing, I'm actually formatting it, so I just go down the line, and we'll tackle all the videos. This one has to move over here. Okay. No, I don't have no 3i Atlas video right now. Let me see if I can find something, because nobody's really talking about it. That's the most. I don't understand humanity right now. How the hell are we not focusing on an object that's literally in our neck of the woods, and we're like, nah, don't worry about it. Don't pay attention to it. We're gonna keep distracting you, okay? I don't get it. I don't get it. Let's see. Anything? Okay, there's some breaking news. Officials swarm a storage facility ahead of police update on Brown University manhunt. So there's a breaking news: police searching Salem, New Hampshire, in connection with Brown, the Brown University, and MIT shootings, and I think there's a connection with the Brown and the MIT shootings. I'm not 100% sure on that, so we're gonna go over, see if we could catch. Here it is. Let's go ahead and clip this here. This one's an important one. But the thing is, like I said, they talk about all this other news, but they're not talking about 3i Atlas. And why they're not talking about 3i Atlas, it's really puzzles me. It really does puzzles me. Let's see. Ooh, oh, I don't see anything on 3i Atlas. Like my keyboard isn't working so good, so I can't really like type on it. So I'm just like trying to scan through, see if I find something, which it's not even, and nobody's talking about it. The radio silence from the media on 3i Atlas, and tomorrow is its closest approach, and nobody's talking about it. Oh, you know, this is, it's just, I don't get it. What the hell is this? Oh, this is in the Bronx. All right, we got to see this. This is a video we got to definitely see. I'm sorry. I'm still putting videos together. It's like, damn, right? It's like, yeah, because I usually have this done before I start the show, but let's blame it on Avatar for being too damn long. Like, and then they had to start the movie from the beginning again because of the screen. So I truly apologize for not being ready. And I started the show late. It's like, damn, Rick. I was like, I know. Let's see. Nope, no 3-Eye Atlas. No, nothing on the news on 3-Eye Atlas. I mean, a little bit of the Bongino because he resigned as I guess, the deputy of the FBI. The number 2 guy resigned. So let's see. The hell is this? No. I think I may find something here. I don't know if it's we could check it out. At least it's something about 3-Eye Atlas. At least one person is talking about it. So we'll see how this goes. Let's see. Okay, let's just back a little bit. Okay. So first things first, I already got the videos out. They're lined up. I just got to do some resizing, but I don't need to do it right now. I want to go back to this Trump signing of this reclassification for marijuana, which is really big news for me and seniors out there and those who have traumatic injuries and traumatic brain injuries and anything that like PTSD, cancer, all different types of elements that marijuana can help. I'm happy that it's being reclassified, and I know the pharmaceutical companies are very upset today. They are very upset at Trump that Trump has reclassified marijuana. What a great Christmas gift for me and for the world, and well, not really the world, but the United States. And let the lawsuits begin, because you're gonna have a lot of people are gonna want to sue Trump. Oh, you can't do that. The pharmaceutical companies are gonna try to sue Trump. Yeah, you can't really do that because that's gonna cut off our profits. Okay, let's watch.
Pleased to announce that I will be signing an executive order to reschedule marijuana from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 controlled substance with
Schedule 3
medical uses. We have people
all right, let me see
begging for me to do this. People that are in great pain.
My body is sore tonight. Mine's Terry. I know you worked a lot today. You did a lot today.
Suffering from extreme pain,
You're doing that
incurable diseases, aggressive cancers, seizure disorders, neurological problems, and more, including numerous veterans with
but the amount of money these
injuries and older Americans who live with chronic medical problems that severely degrade their quality of life. And it's
see here, folks. Brown really is full of shit.
I can't tell you. I think I probably have received more phone calls.
All those damn cameras, 8,000 cameras, and yet they can't get a good image.
I don't
crazy, right?
Any calls on the other side of it.
Only video this reclassification was from a street
cam.
It was a door cam. It was one of those ring cams.
Many of those patients live a far better life. We're joined today by Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's doing a fantastic job, Administrator of Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, Dr. Mehmet Oz, the FDA Commissioner, Dr. Marty McCary, Director of the National Institutes of Health, Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, and the Director of the National Institute on Drug Abuse, Dr. Nora Valkow, as well as Dr. Ilana Braun from the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, Duke University's Dr. David Casseret, the National Commander of the American Legion, Dan Wiley, and my friend Howard Kessler. Howard, how are you feeling? I'm telling you, he looks better than he did 20 years ago. But I don't want to go through what you went through to get there. Right? But it looks like you're doing great. I'm proud of you. I want to emphasize that the order I am about to sign is not the legalization, or it doesn't legalize marijuana in any way, shape, or form.
But it's
and no way sanctions its use as a recreational drug. It has nothing to do with it. Just as the prescription painkillers may have legitimate uses, but can also do irreversible damage and never, you know, if you look at some of the damage that can be caused, wreck lives, and if it's abused, it's never safe to use powerful controlled substances in recreational manners. And
if people smoke recreational, that's fine. But I smoke
illegal and unregulated drugs. Very, very bad thing. So I've always told my children, don't take drugs, no drinking, no smoking.
Every day.
And just stay away from drugs. I have been, they would look at me and they said, Dad, would you stop saying that? I would say it every time I looked at it practically. Young Americans are especially at risk. So unless a drug is recommended by a doctor for reasons, just don't do it. At the same time, the facts compel the federal government to recognize that marijuana can be legitimate in terms of medical applications when carefully administered. In some cases, this may include the use as a substitute for addictive and potentially lethal opioid painkillers. They cause tremendous problems. This can do it in a much lesser way.
If it's not
make people
used properly,
feel much better that are living through tremendous pain and problems. 40 states and multiple U.S. territories have already recognized the use of medical marijuana. This reclassification order will make it far easier to conduct marijuana-related medical research, allowing us to study benefits, potential dangers, and future treatments.
So who's here that smokes?
Tremendously positive impact, I believe.
A good question, right? Who here smokes? Because I would like to know. This is your confession. Confess to me. Do you smoke the Mary Jane? Don't be ashamed. You can let Uncle Rick know. You can let Uncle Rick know that you smoke the wacky weed. You smoke the Mary Jane. I'm resizing videos. I'm trying to be slick and trying to get all these videos resized. But I got it. I'm getting it. Let's see. We got a news article here we could watch on the marijuana. I think I would like to check it out because this is a news article on it. So let's come over here and let's watch this.
Trump has signed an executive order reclassifying marijuana as a less dangerous drug.
So this move could ease regulations now and could change taxation too. Our Washington correspondent Jackie Diffusco live tonight. Jackie,
I feel the rain coming.
Actually, this change
means on my neck, on my shoulders.
Yeah, Sheree, Ashley, to be perfectly clear, this executive order that President Trump signed today does not legalize marijuana at the federal level. It does not endorse its recreational use either. Instead, what the president is doing here is taking steps to reclassify marijuana from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 drug. That change essentially recognizes that marijuana has an accepted medical use and puts marijuana in the same category as drugs like certain Tylenols and ketamine. The president says that change will also make it a whole lot easier to conduct medical research on marijuana, from its benefits to its risks to possible future treatment options. It also could lower barriers to banking for cannabis businesses, which is something they have long sought. Critics, however, are concerned that it sends the wrong message about marijuana's risks, especially to kids, including some GOP lawmakers who made that case in a recent letter. This rescheduling push did start under the Biden administration, but the White House says that this executive order aims to speed that process along. It does not, however, lay out a specific timeline for that.
Medicine that I take.
Hey, Jackie, before you go, I know the Trump administration is also calling for expanded access to hemp products. We're talking things like CBD. What steps are they taking specifically in regards to that?
Yeah, the big news today is that the Trump administration announced a new Medicare program that they say will allow certain older adults to access legal forms of CBD at no cost to the patient as long as it is signed off on by their doctor. They say that program will start as early as April of next year. And after that, it could potentially expand if the data that they collect on those patients through the program supports that expansion. In addition to that, with this executive order, the president is calling on the White House's policy staff to work alongside Congress to revisit brand new restrictions on certain hemp products that Congress actually just passed earlier this year. And the White House says the goal there is to protect access to what's called full spectrum CBD while continuing to restrict intoxicating products.
All right, a lot to unpack there and sift
leave
through,
my THC
Jackie.
alone. I need high THC for me because the THC is what helps me with my PTSD and with my chronic pain disease that I suffer on a daily basis. And, it gets tiring having to take pharmaceutical medicine for my ailments, for my pain and for my, like I just mentioned, PTSD and anxiety too. It helps with all of those. And listen, I'm the prime person to speak to when it comes to marijuana because I smoke here every day. That does not change. And I only smoke on my show. Really rarely I'll smoke on my own here. It's pretty rare I do that. But I like to smoke on my show because I'm always talking, and when I'm talking, I'm breathing more in and out, and more medicine gets to get into my lungs that way. So that's the reason why I like to consume during my show. It's the best way. I mean, there's people that, smoke and they don't talk or anything. That's fine. You can do it that way too. But I just feel like it's more like effective when talking and speaking because, like I said, you're breathing in and out and it's getting into your lungs a lot more, and you feel more of the medicine for sure. I mean, for me, I do. I've been doing it for so many years here on YouTube. You go back and watch all the shows. It'll help my viewage if you go back and watch. You're like, oh yeah, let's go back and watch Rick from way back when. It's entertaining, that's for damn sure. You see Albie in the chat? Albie's been here forever. I don't know why Albie has that K7U. I don't know what that means. I don't know if YouTube changed people's screen names and stuff. I'm not sure what they're doing. I wish YouTube didn't have screen names like this and just have people's names, Just put your first name. Everyone has a first name, so put the first name and maybe a 1, 2, or numbers behind it, but have your name so people know your name. I don't like how people hide behind just weird names. I mean, for the show, I have MyMindoverYourMatter because it's the show, and that's all I use it for. It's the show. But you have people that just have these weird fucking names, and you can't even pronounce their names. And I don't even want to try to pronounce their names. Let's go ahead and just. I got inspired by the news, by the media, to roll another joint in celebration of the signing of the reclassification of marijuana from a class 1 to a class 3. That is so cool. That is so good. I am so happy for that. Because that's going to open up more research. That's going to open up more to helping and creating more different medicines using marijuana. And marijuana's been around like forever. It was here before the pharmaceutical medicines. That's for damn sure. Marijuana was here when the fucking dinosaurs were here. That's how far back like marijuana's been here. And then you wonder how marijuana got to Earth, right? How did a medicine of that greatness has made it to Earth, you know? Where did it come from? You know, everything that Earth provides is either, you know, helpful or harmful to you. And I think marijuana is more helpful than harmful. I know they played the brainwash game, and they had the wacky weed video from back in the 60s. But actually 50s and 40s, they used to have these videos of like wacky weed. But back in the days, they used to smoke like crazy. Shit, back in the days, they used to have like cocaine in their drinks and Coca-Cola. So the dentist used to give a script for patients to get some Coca-Cola that has Coke in it, that has cocaine in it. And doctors were prescribing that to their patients. The reason why they classified it as a class 1 on cocaine, because it was really effective and it was very helpful, and it was causing people to get addicted to it. So that's why they took it off the market pretty much and classified it as a class 1. But back in the days, cocaine was it was like herbal. It was kind of like it was medicine. It was medicine. Let's see. Last time I did that was in my 20s. Oh my god. But it's not bad, you know, because this is more, it's medicine. It's medicine. I don't see the negative part of it. Besides people trying to sell it in the streets and stuff, I never buy, like, for the past, the only I used to get before it got, you know, with the license and legalized and stuff like that. Before then, I used to get it off of people that I knew, you know, family member or a cousin or a good friend of mine that I knew that was selling. Then I would, those days I used to get them from them. But now I just go to the dispensary, and it's licensed and it's prescribed by my doctor. It has my doctor's name on it. It has my name on it. It has a sticker here, and this sticker has like the license number. It has my name, my doctor's name, the patient ID number, which is my license number. There's my doctor's name and the product, and all the information is back here. So I smoke legally. Not illegally and not spiked neither, because I don't like my I don't like my medicine spiked. No, thank you. Turn on my candle here and keep on smoking, and let's go ahead and watch an episode. Let's see, what's this? Okay, this is the Brown and the MIT. So let's set this up and let's watch.
We have another major development tonight in the breaking news we've been following through the afternoon, and that was that they did have an arrest warrant for the person of interest in the shootings at Brown University. Later, we learned that there is at least an investigation into a connection for the MIT professor killed in Brookline, and now a search in Salem, New Hampshire.
And they launched this manhunt hours ago. This was clearly a huge police response. And from the air, we've been able to see how many police officers are in this area around Salem, New Hampshire, and more specifically around the vehicle that you see on your screen right there. I want to bring in our chief investigator, Cheryl Fiandaca, as we look at these pictures. Cheryl, I know that you've been talking with sources all afternoon and all evening. What can you tell us?
Well, It looks like, as you said, the area right here in Salem, New Hampshire, this is where most of the activity is concentrated.
Yeah, you probably
If you
had some wacky shit.
When Sky pulled out earlier, you could see the jackets.
The medicine from the dispensary doesn't get you like that.
So it's very clearly an investigation that is linked to the Brown University shooting and the shooting of the MIT professor. You can see this is a storage facility. The storage facility is open to folks that use it until 10 o'clock at night. And in some cases, I think it's open 24/7 for others who have like different levels of service at this place. So there may be some activity there based on that. It's unclear exactly what they're looking at and for, but it doesn't look like there's a lot of urgency.
Yeah. You may be wondering, how would we get to this point? We did report earlier that there was a rental vehicle that, according to sources, was spotted near the Brookline home of the professor who was murdered there, and that perhaps that was the car they were looking for. What you're looking at right now, and we just mentioned moments ago that this is a storage unit, extra space storage on Hampshire Street in Salem. Just to give you a perspective of where that is, it's directly off of Route 93, like right off the highway. If you remember where the old Rockingham Mall is, where Tuscan Village is, it's very close to that area. And as Cheryl mentioned, Cheryl, not in a hurry to run inside. We haven't seen anything about anyone taken into custody. They're just sort of standing there, but obviously there's something happening inside that building.
Yes, and as the helicopter shot pans out, widens out there, you can see just how many police officers are in that area. I was asking you a second ago, Cheryl, can't they just go in there? Not necessarily, although they have an arrest warrant for an individual. What we don't know is whether they have a search warrant.
Right, exactly. And, all of that has to come into play because they don't really know what they're dealing with. So at this point, obviously, they're being very cautious about what they're doing and what they've found here, if anything.
Our reporter, Aaron Parsegian, was on the ground there just outside of the building. They're actually moving him away from the building. We don't know what to take from that, only that they are now sort of expanding the area that they are overseeing outside of this storage unit. And we were just talking off the air, Cheryl, that oftentimes if there is a situation that they deem, excuse me, to be dangerous, they would be alerting the public, stay away from this area, telling news crews to get away. That hasn't been the case. It's just this sort of steady sort of crowd of law enforcement arriving.
I got some information.
Trying to look at that car that's right there.
Excellent. Well, let's go live to Aaron Parsegian now. Aaron, we understand they just moved you back a bit.
Yeah, they probably found the
very active scene here. They actually told us to move down. They want to keep us as safe as possible. Still limited information about what exactly they're doing here. We do know, as CBS News has reported from sources, that this manhunt for the Brown University shooting suspect has expanded to multiple states. We're right over the border here in New Hampshire, and you can see.
I wonder if they're here in Connecticut.
Actually closed down this road that is right near this storage unit. On scene, we've seen police from several departments, including Providence Police, Rhode Island State Police just showed up. I've also seen U.S. Federal Marshals here, so it's clearly a very active situation.
I wonder if they're going to Canada.
More about, but you can see these cops all huddled here outside of this storage unit. Several squad cars, more people pulling back, and as you mentioned, they actually moved us further down the road, right outside there, seeing them look at some of the vehicles there. And we're, of course, working to learn more about what exactly the extent of they're doing in this investigation. We'll bring you that as soon as we get it.
Stay there for us. I know you will. If we have the ability to take the helicopter shot, I'm not entirely sure that we do. Right behind Aaron's shot there a second ago, we seemed to see slightly more urgent activity. It looked like officers were running into that building right there.
Which may be why they're moving Aaron back. Aaron, did you see people running behind you just a moment ago? I know you were on camera, so it may have been difficult.
I did, and right before I went on air here, actually, we saw several Rhode Island State Police cruisers actually pull up to the scene. That might be related to them actually getting to that area. But as you mentioned, we were first here about a half hour ago, and we were right up against where they were all kind of gathered in that storage unit facility parking lot. And since then, they have just moved us down here. They've shut off this road entirely to traffic, so it's clear they're really focusing in on this area now, just over the border here in New Hampshire.
Thank you. Stay right there if you can, and we will come back to you. Of course, stay safe as well. Lisa, you're right. As he was talking, it was tough because it was sort of in the shadows. but it almost did look like there were people moving quickly.
Right. And that happened, that activity happened truly like 60 seconds after they moved Aaron back. So we've been wondering why there seemed to be such a lack of urgency there. And perhaps this was a necessary wait before moving into that storage unit.
Absolutely. And, we've seen over the past 24 hours such a big difference in the investigation, which we thought had, seemed to have stalled, and now all of a sudden got very, very hot. We already now know that there is a connection between the Brown University shooting and the shooting of the MIT professor on Monday night. We know that the police have identified the suspect. They have the identity of the person. They know who they're looking for. They obviously have been tracking that person all day. There was a second person they put out his photo yesterday. They wanted to know whether or not that person had any information or could tell them more about the suspect they were searching for. And they may have actually gotten some information from that person.
Just going to ask our producer if I can, is this a live picture that we're seeing right now? All right? So this is taped right now. And do we have live images? Okay, so that's important. We're told that police are asking us not to show.
Right.
But if this were an incident, and we've seen this in the past where maybe a suspect takes their own life and they know that there's no threat, then they don't ask that. So from being told that we shouldn't be showing live pictures of this, there's at least the possibility that this is unresolved.
Right. That they may not know at this point whether this person is still alive. I mean, it seems right now what they don't know is exactly what they're dealing with in there.
Right. And, obviously, we don't want to just, show anything about what they might be doing that would tip off anybody that might be watching this and to actually, convey that information to a suspect. So it's they have to be really, really careful about that. But you can see that this is very, very active, and it's been very active for the last 24 hours.
What's interesting, if now we're going to go to the ground pictures here, and we've been describing a situation in which police are there. They don't seem terribly alarmed, but again, you can never really tell how far away they are. But they're not also just kind of standing around. You notice in one of the images, several people were standing behind their police SUVs. At one point, it looked like one of the officers sort of was in a stance where he had, appeared that he had his weapon in his hand. So again, completely unresolved, but it does seem clear now. And just to sort of set the scene again, this is the extra space storage facility on Hampshire Street in Salem, New Hampshire. Salem, New Hampshire, just off the highway.
Cheryl, give us a sense, because you were with Boston police at the time of the Boston Marathon bombing, and the coordination that had to take place for that manhunt in Watertown was unlike anything I think any of us had ever seen. Using that as an example, what is happening with these officers right now? In other words, if we were to guess generally, this is a staging area and someone is in command of these officers and their movements?
Well, you can always tell that there are different areas and there are different perimeters. So some of these officers may be at a perimeter that's nowhere near where they're searching. Others may be right where they're searching. So it depends on exactly the location of where the officers that are assigned and where the actual activity is taking place. And everybody's job in that coordination is really important.
So there are layers, essentially, of law enforcement leading right up to the point at which they believe they're going to be confronting the suspect.
Right. And, this suspect that they know is armed and dangerous. He's already killed 3 people and, shot 9 others. So they're going to be very, very careful in this case. And so that means that they want to take every precaution possible and make sure that whatever they are doing, they're protecting themselves and the public.
Wow. The fact that it's taking so long, I want to see if they identify, if they show. Let me see if this one, because this is NBC Connecticut. Oh, Lord. And they got some more marijuana stories over here. And that's coming from Indianapolis, actually. So let's see. Let's check this one out.
Breaking right now at 6, law enforcement now knows the name of the person of interest in the mass shooting at Brown University. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. I'm Keisha Grant.
Oh, I'll tell you. Hold on. For Terry, you should start dunking your. I don't know if you have a tub. If you don't, I don't know if you have a tub. If you could put your feet in there, in hot water, and put some Epsom salt. If you get some Epsom salt and just put it in that water and just let your feet soak for a while. And if you could get in the tub and just to cover your legs in the water, because I know we're tall, like I'm tall, so I can't really do that in my tub, but I can sit and lay my legs out and get the Epsom salt, and it's so helpful. It is. But if you have I say because you could put your both legs, or you have something where you could put your both feet in, and you could put Epsom salt in it. So that way, it really, for me, it does help me when I do it. I'll keep that in mind. We sell it at Walgreens. Yeah, you guys do sell it at Walgreens. I always buy it at Walgreens. They have good, they have good shit. But the Epsom salt, you just dunk put it in the hottest tolerated, to how you like warm, how hot you could withstand. But the I wouldn't say the hottest the best, but it feels like it's better hotter. Put the Epsom salt in there, and you could soak there for like half an hour, and then you could even add more hot water to it, because you can open up the line and just add more hot water, and just sit there for like a half an hour, lay just your legs, and you feel better. You'll sleep better, especially at night. It's helpful. And then let's see. All right, let's continue here. This is coming out of NBC Connecticut. So let's start it back from the beginning, and let's see what they have.
Breaking right now at 6, law enforcement now knows the name of the person of interest in the mass shooting at Brown University. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. I'm Keisha Grant.
And I'm Mike Heideck. That is not the only new development in this investigation either. NBC News also confirms police are looking into whether or not the shooting at Brown University is connected to the murder of an MIT professor in Massachusetts earlier this week.
There is a lot going on, a lot of breaking developments with this case. We're expecting to hear from authorities at any moment now. This is a live look at the podium in Providence, Rhode Island, at the police department, where authorities are expected to provide an update with all of this new information at any moment. When that happens, we will bring it to you live.
NBC Connecticut's Melissa Cooney is there live now. She joins us with what we know so far today as this continues to move. Melissa?
Yeah, guys, well, we have some breaking news just within the last 5 minutes. I'm going to look at my notes to make sure I report this accurately. NBC News has confirmed that 3 senior law enforcement officials are looking into whether the vehicle that was used in the Brown University shooting was the same rental vehicle that was seen around the home.
Yeah, you can do that. And put one in each leg,
shooting. Now, NBC says,
and you put your ankles, if you only want your feet, just put it up to
earlier that officials are considering the possibility that
over the calf, not over the calf, over the ankle. Just make sure you could be able to dunk your whole foot in there, and
is active.
between the ankle and the calf.
Since right around 4 o'clock,
as far as
we
height.
wait for more information. Now, this is a fast-moving case, and for folks that are just joining
But if
us,
you could get it up to your knee,
we'll talk about
it's so much better, because your calf
on Saturday,
gets the
a
Epsom
gunman
salt.
opened fire and killed
It's
2
very
people
helpful.
and injured 9
Trust
in
me.
a physics and engineering building. Then 2 days later at MIT, an unknown shooter killed by gun a MIT professor. At this point, as of yesterday, for either of those situations, FBI had said that neither were related and no one was in custody for either shooting. At this point, it appears we're getting closer and closer to figuring out if A, those cases are related, and B, if we have a suspect. Now, at this point, we know that police have shared that they have that person of interest identified as it relates to the Brown University shooting. At this point, we have not confirmed it officially connected to MIT, that person, and We're still waiting to learn the name of that person of interest in the Brown University shooting. Also, in the past, officials have shared photos of that person of interest. We're waiting to figure out if that person of interest is the same one that they've identified. So, guys, a lot going on here.
And a lot still unfold tonight. Melissa, thank you. We'll bring you there as soon as it does happen, right?
Absolutely. And stay with NBC Connecticut for the very latest developments on the search for the Brown University shooter.
This bullshit story. I wanted to fucking see the picture, you fucking NBC Connecticut. Like, okay, but if you're telling me, oh, he's been identified, but you're not going to show me the fucking picture, then why the fuck are you reporting it? All right, let's keep it moving with some Benny Johnson. We need some Benny in our lives.
What's up, guys? Benny, the absolute worst thing to happen right before Christmas, a horrifying plane crash. We've been seeing a lot of these lately. This is a private plane that smashed into the ground and it was carrying the family of a very famous man who was also flying the plane. He is a famous driver and pilot, a NASCAR driver named Greg Biffle. His wife, daughter, and son dying in the plane crash in North Carolina. I can confirm that Greg Biffle and his wife, Christina, daughter Emma, and son Ryder were on the plane because they were on their way to spend the afternoon with us. We were devastated, according to one of his friends on Facebook. Biffle provided life-saving assistance to Hurricane Helene victims by flying helicopters to hard-to-reach areas. He was beloved in NASCAR circles, one of the top NASCAR drivers in the 2023 season. Absolutely heartbreaking. You can see him here risking to help his fellow North Carolinians. This is my entire timeline right now. You can see the footage of the crash. It looks just like a catastrophic error and some type of major technical collapse because the man was obviously clearly a very talented pilot. And we want to find out more. So let's scroll through the timeline. NASCAR's lost a leader and a humanitarian, Greg Biffle. He was 55 years old. Thoughts are with his family.
I wonder if that has a black box. It should have a black box.
So what's going on here? Here he is with his beautiful family. Yes, just truly ripped your heart out.
Wow.
The Cessna C-550 business jet. It was owned by him, so it was his jet. It took off at 10 this morning. The plane attempted to land when it crashed. It was in Statesville Regional Airport. Multiple fatalities. It has the capacity for 7 to 8 passengers. Described the aircraft as flying way too low prior to impact. Again, it seems like some type of terrible technical difficulty. Reports confirm that a Cessna business jet registered to a company associated with Greg Biffle crashed shortly after takeoff this morning, attempting to return to the runway. Authorities have reported multiple fatalities. It sucks.
That really sucks.
Just this past fall, he was at the Salt and Light Conference and NC Faith and Freedom Coalition. He got awarded. He got an honor there. Let's go ahead and look here. You can see him with a team of rescuers during the Hurricane Helene floods. Him here flying a helicopter to help. Hard to believe we lost Greg Biffle. This was what Biffle was doing here. You can see him landing here and then delivering all these supplies.
I wonder if he was flying the jet.
This poor area of the Carolinas.
I think he was flying
absolutely
the jet.
Devastated by the floods. He was a fan of Donald Trump. Here he is taking a selfie with Trump at the Daytona 500. And here is the flight path. So this is the flight tracker. You can see the plane just took off. It just departed, and then it crashed. It's just terrible. I sent this to a pilot friend of mine, and he says, old plane, no telling how good the maintenance or preferred checks, pre-flight checks were. Sounds like he had an issue right after takeoff. It also sounds like he was flying himself without a second pilot or a professional pilot in the plane. Usually with accident issues compound, there's lots of little things that add up. A chain of issues that could lead to an accident. You have a break in the chain, you get help, wait for better weather, cancel the trip. Yeah. Terrible. Here again is another. Here's the flight path and with altitude. So you can see he's climbing here and then collapse. Something terrible, something horrible goes wrong right here. And he tries to return to the airport, and then he loses altitude swiftly and severely, and then crashes. Jeez. Just can't look at it anymore. Matt Van Swole is a dude from North Carolina who's helped out a lot during the hurricanes. He made it like really his entire ethos in order to help people who were devastated in his home state of North Carolina. And he worked with Greg Biffle, and he's just completely devastated. At a complete loss for words, Greg Biffle was one of the most heroic volunteers during the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. For 2 weeks straight, Greg flew his own personal helicopter every single day to rescue victims that were stranded in the mountains. A true hero. So
and I think their bodies were cremated at the scene with that fire.
Terrible. We're seeing a lot of this.
They're not going to find their
bodies. Here is footage of the plane crash in Kentucky. Horrifying plane crash that smashed into multiple buildings.
Yeah, they need to be checking who's doing maintenance on these planes. We
have been also
people sabotaging these planes.
Urban areas,
because
like
I feel like there's people sabotaging,
smashed
like the maintenance
into a
sabotaging
very populated area
in
a suburb of Philadelphia. And then here is footage, of course, horrifying footage of a helicopter crashing into a commercial airliner right in Washington, D.C. And so we're just seeing a lot of this. I mean, I don't see any evidence that this has been skyrocketed, that there's like some type of skyrocketing and plane crashing. But this is, again, very, very dangerous and dangerous times. There are a lot of planes in the sky. If you're going to be flying, especially if you're going to be flying private, and a lot of these planes are private, then you got to make sure you got a good pilot and you have redundancy, and maybe you have multiple pilots. I don't know. I don't have a plane, right? I got a buddy who's a pilot, but he's a commercial pilot. So what can you do, man? I don't know. I guess this is why I fly American Airlines. It's been a long time since you've had a commercial airline crash, unless there were DEI pilots.
Oh, Lord.
That's what happened in Canada during this crash. Right?
That's crazy.
Remember the DEI pilots crash?
Yeah.
Okay.
The all girls.
It's your boy Benny.
But they survived.
Pray for the Biffle family. Terrible to see. And I hope that you're traveling safe on the holidays.
That guy's a multi-millionaire. Greg Biffle is a multi-millionaire. And he had kind of like a little empire with his career as a NASCAR driver, and he has like his businesses and his home, his cars. He has so many cars. Like, who's gonna take over all that? That's the biggest question. Who's gonna take over his empire? That's just so sad. The whole family gone. The wife and the kids. And that with that accident, like I was looking at it, you know. Let's watch it again. Well, not watch it again, but I just want to get the plane on fire. Yeah, let me see if I can find it. Damn. Okay. Let me set it up here real quick. Okay. Their bodies are cremated. Okay. You see the smoke in us? This is all. I'm pretty sure this jet was full of fuel. Okay. So it was a heavier landing too, besides the fog, because I see fog, you see the background. I don't know if you can see it back here and towards the back area back here. You can see it looks foggy. So maybe when he went up, he caught a fog bank or something. And then on top of that, maybe he had like a maintenance issue, like the plane had some kind of engine problem. And as you can see, he circled around. Hold on, where is it? I just want to see where he circled around. To this one? No. No, come on. Oh, Lord. All right, hold on. I'm trying to see where he has the map with the altitude. Well, here it is. I found it. Right here. Okay. Look at, okay, because this is probably takeoff, right? So he comes off this way, and then he's not like really climbing up. He's like, it looks like the plane made this hard, like this left, and this probably was starting to have problems, and then the plane like dropped down, and then it kind of caught like altitude, and he knew he had problems, so he's trying to climb up, and he climbs up, and then he's probably like, oh, I gotta turn back, we gotta go back to the airport, we're having issues. So he makes the left turn, and he comes, looks like a freaking racetrack. This looks like a NASCAR racetrack, like the way he drove this plane. And then the plane looks like it had a drop here in between here and here. Like it came down, and then it was pretty much flying pretty much low. And he made a hard turn and didn't really get to the airport properly and crashed. He didn't land on the runway. I think he landed diagonal to the runway. That's what that's what I'm getting. Like, you see what I mean? So he made this hard left, and then like right here you see the plane, and I don't think he lined up to the runway properly. And I think when he had to come down because the end or something was happening, and he landed wrong, and he had no choice because the plane was coming down. So I say bravo for him, because he didn't cause a mass accident along the way, and he turned around and came back. So he avoided a lot of homes and a lot of businesses like around here. And wow, that's sad. All right, let's keep it moving. See what this is about here. What the hell happening?
Fuck, I'm out of here.
What the hell? What the hell? What's happening here? I don't ride no bus. They get out the window. He got out. Look. Oh, the police is there. Look.
Hell no. Oh, look at this.
What is happening?
Bro. Look at this. Look at this.
All right. I mean, yeah, that's life in the city sometimes. Okay, that's real life out in the Bronx. And we'll look at the video again. We won't necessarily hear it. I just want to give you a little bit of the details about what we know did happen. This was an MTA bus out of control in the Bronx. Crash happened Monday afternoon near East 163rd Street, South Bronx. 8 people were injured, including the bus driver. Those victims were taken to Lincoln Medical Center, non-life-threatening injuries. 6 vehicles were hit. Some were actually pushed onto the sidewalk. So, I mean, you get a sense of like why people were so upset, because this driver hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vehicles. So it's unclear if there was some kind of medical episode. Was it a mechanical failure? Was this driver just making a mistake and didn't stop? Was there something else going on?
I think the driver had a medical
it was also
issue.
terrifying. So take a listen to this. This is sort of an extended interview we did.
Because if you're having a medical
guy who was
issue,
out there right afterward. Let's take a listen.
Well, like I said, it started from down the block. She hit like about 6 or 7 cars, and she tried to keep going. And the unmarked police car had to stop her.
And what first drew your attention to it?
The noise, the crack, right, from the impact, and then she just tried to keep going, and the unmarked police car had to cut her off.
And
what?
I mean, how many vehicles did you see struck?
Did you see the driver?
6 or 7 cars.
And how many
was she okay?
Did you see and hear?
You could hear the impact from all of them. It was a lot. Bam, bam, bam. Every car she hit made noise.
And what was it like to see this?
Huh?
What was it like to see this?
It looked like a movie. I thought they would shoot a movie. I want a part in it.
What is your name?
Wilson, Albert.
All right, so that was a gentleman who heard it. He said, "Bam, bam, bam." He felt it was like a movie.
It felt like a movie. I didn't see much of a bang bang or anything, but I take his word for it. It was like a movie. Let's keep it moving.
Subway service still impacted tonight in Upper Manhattan after an accident involving an MTA crane and a bridge. Eyewitness News reporter Sonia Rincon in Inwood tonight with what happened.
If you took the 1 train uptown to Inwood or the Bronx this afternoon or evening, you could still get there, but it probably took you a lot longer. And this is why. The MTA is still working tonight to remove a piece of equipment that got stuck both on and in the Broadway bridge that goes over the Spite and Divo Creek, and it could take all night. A photographer zooming in shared to the Citizen app the reason for the longer ride on the 1 train to the Bronx today. Somehow a crane on an MTA work train poked a hole and got lodged in the top of the Broadway bridge connecting the tip of Manhattan to Marble Hill at around 1 this afternoon.
No.
2 MTA workers were taken to a hospital to be checked out for minor injuries.
What the hell?
All afternoon and all night, MTA crews worked on a plan to safely remove it as uptown trains had to reroute, and riders ended up with a much slower commute, having to ride the 1 all the way up to 242nd Van Cortlandt Park if they were going anywhere north of Dyckman Street, and wait for the train to turn around and come back to their stop in between.
Like an hour and 45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So going to Van Cortlandt Park and going back down, disaster. Very disappointing.
That's because this created a traffic jam, with most trains having to wait a while at Dyckman Street.
It was like 15 minutes before I just decided to just leave.
Malik had 2 wheels to get into 231st Street rather than going to the end of the line and back.
Thank God I didn't take the train.
People depend on the train.
Well, I hope they resolve this because I need to take this to come back to work tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow, the hope is that this will be out of here. But for tonight, expect temporary
New York
service disruptions on the Uptown 1 north of 215th Street. There are buses to take as alternatives. The MTA is not only working to resolve this, it's investigating how it happened. In Inwoods.
It's wild. Let's keep it moving. Liberal high. Oh, great. The fucking audio ain't working. All right, give me a second. Fucking, I'm telling you, it's fucking StreamYard, man. Fucking StreamYard. You get on my fucking nerves. I gotta play that shit again. You know, it's like I really want. I'm really thinking about switching companies. I'm really thinking about it. Start off the new year with a new company because I don't know, man. It's just they are so inconsistent. All right, let's set this up.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. And of course, here's your meme of the day, brought to you by 5mind.com. Well, it appears as though it just keeps getting worse for Zoran Mamdani here. And actually, there's a little more to it. Not only is it getting worse for him, but I think he himself is proving that he is not what was advertised. No, he is, in fact, much worse. They ran a real Hollywood campaign in New York City. And of course, when you're controlling every little aspect, when everything's a theater production, you could do take after take after take. You could script the whole thing. And all of a sudden, you're no longer a person. No, you're a character. And I got to tell you, if you're a leftoid, if you're a socialist, Zoran looked like an absolutely fantastic product the way they presented him, but now comes getting the job done and being a smug trust fund brat who pretends as if he knows everything about everything. Well, that's easy. Being a successful mayor of America's biggest city, well, that's a whole different thing now, isn't it? That takes a completely different skill set, or rather an actual skill set. And it appears as if Zoran Mamdani just isn't living, doesn't have the goods. No, it's just a massive train wreck since Election Day. First off, the collapse of the Zoran Mirage, all his false promises from the campaign falling apart, right? And now this disaster of a media tour. It's just absolute humiliation after absolute humiliation. I guess as reality is not only hitting Zoran in the face real quick, but all of his voters and supporters as well. Yeah, you're really getting what you vote for here. Let me show you guys possibly the dumbest thing said in political podcast history. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so the new face of the Democrat Party. This is the biggest talent that they've produced from a grassroots level. This is the next generation of left-wing leadership. Just take a look at his genius insight here on Trevor Noah's podcast.
The buses. Help me understand why foster buses and free buses.
So these are the slowest buses in America.
Okay.
That's
like,
not
like, what do you mean by that? Like the speed that they go?
Right. We're talking about an average speed in certain parts of Manhattan around 5 miles an hour.
That's like that's walking.
You
fast,
can
like
beat
running
the bus
type
when you
thing.
walk.
Yeah.
And what we see is that more than 1 million New Yorkers ride the bus.
Okay.
It costs $2.90. That is out of reach for 1 in 5 New Yorkers.
Wow.
So when you make the bus free, you not only provide economic relief, where you ensure that it's universally accessible, you also actually make it safer. We did this at the state legislature. I've been a state assembly member for a few years.
Yeah.
And I worked with Mike Gianaris, a state senator. We made 5 bus routes free in New York City.
How the fuck?
When we made those bus routes free after a year, assaults on bus drivers dropped by 38.9%.
Free makes it
on the bus drivers, because
like
unlike
safer?
the train, the act of fare collection on the bus happens on the bus.
Yeah. It's their job.
And bus drivers and unions have shared anecdotally that about 50% of assaults happen around the fare box. So when you eliminate the fare box, you make for a safer experience for the bus driver, for everyone.
They're gonna be on the bus.
And you know, again, just speaking to the whole acting thing, if you watch that clip, they did a great job acting as if that was the most insightful thing ever spoken. I mean, look at Trevor Noah, the look on his face. Oh, it's such deep, insightful policy. Wow, the logic, the rationale, the studies. What an absolute academic genius Zoran Mamdani is. He's going to save us from this white supremacist shithole that we now live in because of all the bus fare boxes. I don't know, probably some racial narrative relating to incarceration. It's the white man's fare box. They're acting like they're listening to the modern Socrates, but this is not some profound, deep policy analysis. It's really not. No, this is absolute idiocy. I mean, by his logic, 100% of bank robberies happen in banks. Well, I guess that's justification now for dismantling capitalism. 100% of car accidents happen on the road. Well, better get the TNT and start obliterating America's roadways. Based on my analysis, robberies would go down 100% if we simply eliminated money and personal possessions. What is this guy even talking about? This is the level of analysis coming from the greatest young talent in the Democrat Party. It's insane. Instead of saying, hey, maybe we should be arresting people who are assaulting bus drivers, they're saying, hey, let's just give them free stuff so they don't violently desecrate our societal harmony. Let's totally surrender the basic expectation of having to pay for a service because of these crackheads and delinquents who throw punches over $2. I'm just going to say it, if you're part of this political side, we cannot be friends. We cannot coexist. We don't share the same value system. No, I want to live in a society that has a basic expectation that you as a citizen are going to conduct yourself in a decent, productive, and non-violent manner. Is that really such a difficult standard after all? No, it's not. Most people can meet that standard, no problem. Those who prove to you that they repeatedly can't, well, those people belong in prison or in mental asylums. You see, that's actually the core of the problem. The no cash bail, the revolving door of injustice in these big woke cities. That's the reason why these bus drivers are getting assaulted, because these leftoid politicians keep letting, again, the degenerates and the crackheads right back onto the streets to continuously reoffend. They keep putting them back onto the streets over and over and over again until one of them murders an innocent Ukrainian girl for no frickin' reason. And now they want to gaslight us into taking more of your tax dollars so they can make public transit free, because apparently that's going to stop this epidemic of violence against bus drivers. It's the dumbest thing I've heard all week, maybe all month, maybe all year. But in a way, it's nothing new. This has been the left-wing mode of thinking for a while now. Violent, deranged sociopaths, criminals, predators should be given everything for free, and that'll make society a safer place. Just give the criminals free reign. And there you go. It's like a magic trick. It just works. But don't you see some cracks in the foundation of that logic? Nobody for even a second stops to ask what happens when you build a system that rewards aggression and seemingly on the flip side punishes the rule of law, punishes the people that are doing things the right way? What happens when you send that message? Well, the left seems to think that it creates a white picket fence suburb, like AOC told us, but we've seen this before. The exact opposite is true. They're going to unleash a wave of terror and crime unlike we've ever seen. Zoran tells you free buses will make the trains peaceful and harmonious, but what's probably going to happen is more something along the lines of the meme of the day that I showed you earlier. Total anarchy, a total free-for-all, especially considering the fact that the free bus program is going to be operating in this criminal environment the Democrats have allowed to fester. It's really not complicated stuff. You look at the cleanest public transit and subway systems. Take Singapore, for instance. What makes it so peaceful and harmonious? Well, it's the enforcement of law. It's the public safety policies that they set in place. I'm not saying we should be as hardcore as Singapore on crime, but what I am saying is that that's obviously the solution. Soviet-style free train carts, not exactly a great idea. Anyways, just a fascinating clip I thought I'd share with you guys. It's just very interesting seeing a group of grown men so enchanted with such leftist la-di-da bullshit. There's something so peculiar about it, and I can't put my finger on whether it's naivete or they know exactly what they're doing. They know it's bullshit and they're just playing the game, weaving the spell. I don't know what it is, but it's certainly fascinating, I'll tell you that. And it's certainly, again, one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Zoran Mamdani continues to show the world he's an absolute chump. But I guess in a way that's a good thing, because this is what the Democrats got. This is the future of the party. This AOC, Ilhan Omar, it's an absolute disaster. And it continues to play in front of us in real time. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
All right, let's keep it moving.
About a disturbing crime spree in Biloxi that caused a lot of concern on the Gulf Coast.
Now listen to this. Biloxi police say Camille Benson put almost a dozen razor blades inside loaves of bread at 2 Walmarts. Benson is now facing attempted mayhem charges. Natalie Williamson is live in Biloxi tonight with the late details.
Natalie, investigators got their break in this case when they released some surveillance pictures.
Yeah, that's right, Lenise and Cameron. Shortly after the photos were released, police got tips about who the woman was and where she was. And just hours ago, they tracked her down. Tonight, these terrifying sending shockwaves across the Gulf Coast.
No.
Razor blades in loaves of bread. Investigators say 33-year-old Camille Benson placed multiple razors inside bread at 2 Walmarts. The Walmart Supercenter on CT Switzer and the neighborhood Walmart on Pass Road. Lieutenant Candace Young with Biloxi Police say this unusual crime spree started earlier this month on December 5th. When a customer found a razor blade in a banana nut muffin.
Store associates, combed through their merchandise. They couldn't find any other compromised items. Thought, hey, this is just an isolated event.
However, it wasn't. 2 days later, a customer at the neighborhood Walmart found a razor in a loaf of bread.
Oh my God.
Young says police were not called until more than a week later, after someone else at the Supercenter found razor blades in a loaf of brioche bread.
They did another sweep of their merchandise on display for sale and found multiple loaves of bread that were compromised with razor blades. They also, at that time, found a muffin that had a fish hook in it. Somebody had poked those items through the plastic packaging.
Biloxi police releasing these surveillance photos of Benson early Tuesday, and just hours after they were released, investigators say someone spotted Benson here on Division Street, leading to her arrest. One resident in Biloxi who didn't want to go on camera is wondering what everyone else is. Why would someone do this?
The fact that you even thought about doing that is just insane to me.
We received a statement from Walmart this afternoon. It reads in part, quote, "The health and safety of our customers is always a top priority. We have removed and thoroughly inspected all potentially affected products at impacted stores in Biloxi. We appreciate law enforcement for their swift action and will continue cooperating with them as they investigate."
I've been to Biloxi.
Benson's bond has been set at $100,000. Live in Biloxi, Natalie Williamson,
crazy.
Fox 10 News.
I hold on. I went to Biloxi, Mississippi, to a couple of casinos out there. When I went on my trip to New Orleans, drove east and went to Biloxi, and I had a good time. I played roulette. I was at the roulette table probably the whole freaking night. I came out on top, but it was like a back and forth. So like it's like literally you like down to your last like row and stuff, and then you win, and then it just goes back up, and it's a very roller coaster game. But I played and did pretty well. And I went to this other place in Biloxi and had a really good meal over there, and I have really good memories of out there. But damn, this lady going to Walmart, putting these blades in food and the bread, that's sick and that's crazy. I wonder how many other people probably she had done this to. This is probably not just Walmart. She's probably an offender of everywhere. Maybe we should be like hardcore on crime like Singapore. Yeah, man. I think so. I think you get society to freaking have some common sense again, because man, there's some crazy shit. I'll never shop at Walmart for groceries. Not after that, right? That's fucking a crazy story. That's a crazy story. All right, let's keep it moving because we still got more to watch. So here's a local one here out of Connecticut. Let's check this out.
Tonight at 6 o'clock, caught on camera, pets being dumped and then ditched. Animal shelters tell us it's on the rise, and there are a number of factors behind this troubling trend.
Matt McFarland is your reporter covering New Haven County. He has the story.
Early
Earlier this week, someone pulled up to the New Haven animal shelter with a cat in a cardboard box, but they didn't go inside and ask for help. Rather, they walked over here to this fence line and just tossed it.
I walked over there, I saw the box taped up, and then I opened it, and to my surprise, there was two eyes staring back at me. So this is our little guy.
While a little shy, Stuart the cat is now warm and safe. A far cry from the freezing temps Tuesday morning. Cameras capturing the entire incident as someone throws the box with the cat inside and returns to their car. Now police want to talk to them.
We're not going to just directly say we're going to make an arrest because there's always an extenuating circumstance. You never know what this person's going through, but animal cruelty is a arrestable offense.
And it's not just New Haven. Just this week, Hamden Animal Control posted a video of this man walking into an apartment building and leaving behind a cat in a carrier. And earlier this month, someone ditched this dog, leaving her at a Hamden park, along with a bag of food.
Pretty much every shelter I've spoken to in the state is inundated with animals, and most of them are just being abandoned.
Laura Bourbon, who heads up Brantford's Dan Cosgrove Animal Shelter, says back in the fall, this little dog was found outside in New Haven. Its skin bloody and infected. And is golden, part of a breeder's litter that was turned over because no one was buying them. She says the economy, rising vet costs, and the fact that shelters are full all contribute to people abandoning their pets. And she says it needs to stop.
If you know you're moving or you're being evicted or you're having a new baby and you no longer can care for your animal, take some time to be thoughtful about where that animal is going to go, because unfortunately shelters are full. And there's a whole bunch of places you can go to look for resources. Even on our website, we have some resources for people. It's just you can't leave them outside like that.
If you recognize the person in that video, you have any information, you're asking to call the New Haven police or the animal shelter. As for Stuart, we're told he's up for adoption. Your reporter in New Haven, Matt McFarland, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Who the hell would throw a fucking cat like that? Oh my God, that's just... Of course, New Haven, right? Fucking throwing a box. And the cat inside, the cat's so beautiful too. If it was a girl cat, I probably would get it. I don't have boy cats. I never had one. I like my girls. My girls, especially my little one, love her to death. Boy cats are cool and everything, but I just love the girls better. I love the girls' cats better. I love their attitudes and their personality, because like my two cats, like the mother and the daughter, like two personalities, and I love their energy. I love cats. I really do. They're pain in the butt in the beginning, and after they get used to you and you get used to them, and things calm down, and things get more pleasurable with them, and it's like, okay, they're cool as fuck. But in the beginning, it was like, motherfuckers, you drive me crazy. Like, let me sleep. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, let's see. What's this one? Here's another story. Let's check this one out.
Owners of collectible stores across the GTA say it's a growing issue.
Thefts of valuable Pokemon trading cards, some of them worth thousands of dollars. CTV's Beth McDonnell has more.
Yeah, I know.
This card
I love
specifically,
cats.
like a Van Gogh Pikachu last year would have been like $100, and now it's selling for $800-900.
Pokemon and Magic the Gathering trading cards are popular and get crazy. So much so, thieves are going after them across the GTA.
Almost all the break-ins happen in the middle of the night when no one's here. So, thankfully no one's hurt. None of our staff are around, but it happens, quite often.
The cards are used for playing games and are collectibles. Dolly's Toys and Games deals with some cards valued over six figures.
If your card goes for $200K, it could go for $300 tomorrow, as long as someone's willing to pay that amount of money for it.
All of our stores have a hospital. There are 1,500-pound mag locks.
Experiencing violence and theft, Minting sports card owner John Amendola has become a self-described security expert to keep card thieves away. He has protection on the doors and windows, vaults, a sophisticated entry system, and plenty of cameras.
5 attempted break-ins, 3 break-ins at multiple locations. We've had an armed robbery and we had a couple of instances of mail fraud to the tune of $100,000+.
Still, York Regional Police tell CTV News they're not observing a noticeable increase in trading cards being specifically targeted in thefts, but Amendola says there could be a reason for that.
I think they just don't want to bring more light to it. There's children are involved, families. I can tell you there is an issue. It happens all the time, and they are aware. And Peel, York, and Toronto, they've all done a great job.
In October 2024, a York investigation recovered Pokemon and Magic the Gathering cards worth around $100,000. Officers say, fortunately, this year, there hasn't been another incident like it, although they have seen shoplifting and sometimes trading cards are stolen in residential break-ins. In Peel, police say data is categorized too broadly to isolate incidents around trading cards. In Toronto, police told us they don't see a consistent crime trend of Pokemon card thefts. Store owners point out there are some mechanisms within the industry stopping thieves.
If there's 15 dealers in Ontario, there's only so many people you can steal your goods to. Secondly, mostly everything is tagged, serialized, all the grading are encapsulated, and a lot of the manufacturers are now issuing barcodes that are specific to the store.
We still recover a lot of stolen items just because it's as easy as they are to move. Sometimes it's really tough to get away with like very expensive cards without raising red flags.
Yeah, we have cameras all over.
But despite all upgrades, efforts, and being extra careful,
it doesn't seem to deter all the thieves.
And some keep trying to steal the cards. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
Yeah, they're valuable. Like Pokemon cards are could be very valuable. All right, let's keep it moving.
Go yourself. That's the first thing I want to say tonight.
What's up, guys? Benny. CNN has been sold more in these last couple of years than a cheap pirate hooker during a hurricane. That's because CNN is a trash business who has collapsing and cratering views. They've actually never been so low. MSNBC also collapsing. And this is on the heels of Fox News having the highest rated non-election year ever. Fox News completely dominating in the golden era because people don't like being lied to. Remember when this dude shot up NFL headquarters in New York, not too far from where CNN's building.
Oh, yeah, the white guy.
Well, CNN called him a white male.
Not only once, but twice.
Like this. You remember when they said it was mostly peaceful? Fiery but peaceful protests. There's CNN for you.
Fiery but mostly peaceful.
And who can forget when Erin Burnett traveled to the Israeli invasion of Gaza and stood directly in the path of a slow-moving tank and claimed that she was in danger as the tank slowly put a little cloud of sand and dirt over her. Yes, it's not like you could move anywhere else in that gigantic field you're standing in as the slow-moving tank rolls toward you. Speaking of somebody who has tanked their life and career, Volodymyr Zelensky, in a famous CNN interview, being asked by Erin Burnett some of the toughest questions we ever heard in journalism.
People, our staff. I mean, nobody is.
Oh no!
It's the most painful thing to ever watch CNN programming, which is why my single favorite clip ever from CNN is CNN's Trump supporters chanting over CNN's live shot.
Iowa and North Carolina are really states that should be in the bag for President Trump right now. That's an indication as to how much trouble he's in politically right now, Wolf. And as this crowd is chanting that there are members of the press here who suck, I should also point out, Wolf, what also sucks, getting the coronavirus.
You got him, Jim. You got him, boy. Man, howdy. You really stuck into him. Anderson Cooper makes $18 million a year. Anyway, it's all insane. And now it looks like Tucker Carlson may be taking over CNN. Oh, boy, howdy. So the background here is that CNN is Warner Bros. About bought, and they don't want CNN. Nobody wants that smoke, right? And so Tucker Carlson was asked, like, hey, well, like, why don't you run CNN? Why don't you do it? And his response
last November, that is the threat, censoring YouTube, X, Instagram. And I just think we should be focused on that.
And what's your take on Bari Weiss taking over CBS News? I'm not sure if you've commented on this.
I'm kind of impressed. I mean, it's easy to make fun of Bari Weiss for being dumb or whatever, which is fair, but you have to sort of look at it in reverse image, and it's negative. It's like, with those talents you got, you're amazing. And I will say, I agree with that. I think that she's charming. She's tireless, energetic. I don't know. That still matters. Like we overvalue IQ. Oh, a person's so smart. It actually doesn't matter. Like being charming, meeting people, pushing an agenda tirelessly, like that really works. And in the end, the prize she got is not worth having. Like how'd you like to run CBS News as it is?
Yeah.
No, for real. That's torture. They couldn't pay you enough.
What would you do if you had CNN? They put it in your lap, Tucker, and they say you're forced to be CEO of it for the next 10 years. What would you do?
Well, actually, I've had that conversation.
Slightly more relevant. What would you do if you ran my son's school newspaper? Because about the same scale.
Oh, I'd get radical, man.
Actually, Tucker had an interesting answer.
Any other good questions, Jason?
No, it was a great question. Tucker was about to answer it. Thanks for stepping on it, Jamal, with your incredible editorial.
The CNN question? I mean, I spent almost 10 years there, so I feel like I'm familiar with it.
Yeah.
I actually had this conversation with someone. I was like, we should buy CNN. You should run it. And so I had cause to spend like an evening thinking about it. And no way. I mean, first of all, I'm with Chamath. Like, I don't have a New York Times or Washington Post or New Yorker subscription anymore after a lifetime of having all three, because they're totally irrelevant. They mean nothing. They're speaking to no one. And there's a kind of musty, it's like going back to your childhood home and seeing that your bedroom was really small and like the paint was actually turquoise and all these kind of sad posters from the 80s are still there. Oh, it's depressing. Like, I would just shut it down and build something new.
Okay. Shut it down.
Jason, can I give you my one?
Tucker was offered CNN. He said it 3 times. Yeah, I've been offered CNN to run CNN. I worked there for 10 years. He did. He had a hit show there called Crossfire. That'd be interesting. Is it part of this? Billionaire plots radical overhaul of CNN with top stars axed in stunning secret pitch to tempt Trump. This is part of the CNN sales, right? So they're spinning off. They're buying Warner Brothers. 2 companies are competing to buy Warner Brothers, Netflix and Paramount. And the right-wingers who run Paramount are saying, you should block the deal to Trump and you should sell to us. And here's what we would do to CNN. CNN, of course, been a nemesis of Trump. But the Paramount deal for Warner Brothers is being pitched by David Ellison to Trump's team that would employ sweeping changes at CNN if they purchased the company. Later discussed firing hosts such as Aaron Burnett and Breonna Keeler of the famous Zelensky interview, the ones that Trump dislikes, and then replacing him with people close to Donald Trump for programming. CNN is one of the outlets Trump most likes to call fake news. He calls out reporters all the time. So they're actually pitching President Trump. This is the Ellisons right here. They're actually pitching President Trump on adding Tucker Carlson. Larry Ellison discusses axing CNN hosts with White House in takeover bid talks. Senior officials indicated favorability toward Paramount acquiring Warner Brothers because of it. Oh, no. Well, that's interesting. Even former CNN reporters, Chris Cillizza, saying the numbers for CNN are disastrously bad. The cable news network averaged 497,000 total viewers in prime time, in comparison to Fox News's 3.2 million, factor of 7-fold, significant layoffs potentially for CNN ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not good. Would Jack Tapper be one of the people that gets axed? His book bombed, even though they promoted it on CNN. day and night. Nobody wants to buy what they're selling. Would
I
they
mean,
buy it if
Tucker
Tucker
takes over,
Carlson ran it?
It'll get better.
That'd make
I hope. I just hope it gets better if he does. Let's keep it moving. Oh, another liberal hive mind.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. And of course, here's the meme of the day brought to you by 5mind.com. You know, it's wild that they still haven't realized. But nope, they just keep making the same mistake over and over again. And once again, it appears the left has created another monster. They still haven't realized. The more they harp, the more they lecture, the more they whine, the more they harass and slander and try to cancel people, the more they turn mostly apolitical, non-involved people into absolute freaking killers against their own ideology. They're essentially creating these fantasy boogeymen who then end up playing into the role and flipping the script on the left. You know, I'd say Elon Musk is probably the clearest example. He was once their loyal friend, and well, look how that ended for him. Once they started demonizing Elon Musk, turning him into public enemy number one, well, look how hard it backfired. And really, if you think about it, it started back in 2015, 2016, the whole SJW Tumblr era, the Twitter mob, the BuzzFeed think pieces, an entire culture built around cry bullying, which of course is where the left derived their power from in a lot of ways. They fed off the fear, the public intimidation campaigns, and for a long time, people caved. Corporations and advertisers certainly caved. People bowed their head, anything to avoid the wrath of a blue-haired leftoid. But slowly but surely, the cracks started to show and people started to realize it was simply a very loud minority. And so one by one, people took the red pill. Not the men's guru red pill, no, the original red pill. You know, just one by one, people started to revolt. And now I think we've reached a point where the common response to left-wing outrage campaigns and emotional manipulation, well, the default is something along the lines of this. Go yourself. The SJW era is over. Nobody is scared anymore. The spell has been broken. And the latest very public example of that is with the attempted cancellation of Caleb Hammer, another high-profile name that seems to be taking the Elon approach. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. This one's absolutely based. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so enter Caleb Hammer. If you don't know who Caleb Hammer is, he does a podcast where he brings people on and does a financial audit. Basically, he brings on guests who have horrible financial situations, goes through their finances, their choices, and then proceeds to give them a pretty harsh dose of reality, a reality check. That's basically the whole format. It's kind of like personal finance meeting Jerry Springer. You know, I think that's a good way to describe it. The show is certainly entertaining. I've been watching it since, you know, really before he was a big YouTuber. And so I could say this pretty confidently. The show is not political. In fact, I've noticed throughout his entire short YouTube career so far, he's actually made consistent efforts to avoid political topics or making any personal political statements. But just based on the premise of his show, you know, God forbid somebody tell a 20-something-year-old with $100,000 in irresponsible credit card debt that they should get their freaking shit together instead of blaming systemic racism or classism or whatever the latest ism of the week is. God forbid he tells the people on his show that they're responsible for their own actions and that they're not oppressed by capitalism. And all of a sudden, Caleb Hammer turns into public enemy number one of the left. You know, initially I was following this story. It really started a couple weeks ago, or maybe like a week and a half ago. And I was following it. I didn't want to make a video on it. I didn't really think there was much there. I kind of thought it was stupid. But now it's been, like I said, more than a week. And these psychos just keep going after him. There is a full-blown anti-Caleb Hammer, he's the worst thing since Donald Trump campaign, happening all over social media. It's kind of unbelievable. And now you can imagine being a typical YouTuber, not involved in politics, not part of the scene, and all of a sudden, according to the leftoids, you're the next coming of freaking Mussolini and Adolf Hitler. You can imagine how that could be quite jarring. And in the past, most people in this position would probably instantly cower. But nowadays, it seems like we are in a different era, baby. It's 2025. And so in comes the Caleb Hammer response.
We don't listen to people that look like you anymore. I don't know if you know this. You've lost all the power.
What does that even mean? Is it a woman thing?
No, SJW thing.
So you're sexist.
That I said SJW. Is that women?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what SJW is, but
Social
you like to
justice
talk
warrior?
over women all the time.
I talk over everybody, including myself.
You can't talk over yourself.
Oh, yes, I do. And that's why I flub so many words.
No, that's just a stutter. That's just because you don't know how to
stutter. I talk faster than I think. I don't know what I'm saying half the time.
Well, then maybe you should stop and think for a minute.
So
you can't say that.
I can. I just did. What do you back. And again, we don't listen to people like you anymore. We really don't. You guys have no power. You guys were like 0.5% of the population
I don't even know what
online.
SJW is.
You're a performative virtue signaling weirdo. We already know that.
Is
It's
that
okay.
just because of the piercing and the
and
color?
the color and the weird earrings that you made in a shed.
No, actually, I purchased them from a
Well,
museum.
that's even worse.
Instead of caving to the mob, he takes this moment with one of his woke
That's
guests.
even worse.
You know, the classic blue-haired individual with apparently earrings forged in a shed. Well, he takes the
Definitely
typical
a
permanent leftist victim on his show and uses that as a moment to address the entire SJW mob at large and says it out loud very clearly, you know, the Elon
That is
Musk
funny.
message.
Go yourself.
It's a full-on cultural shift. This is where we're at. No one is scared of being labeled problematic. Oh, you're problematic. Nobody cares about your Tumblr thread or your schizophrenic ramblings in whatever article you're writing. The era of this left-wing cancel mob has officially come to an end. They have fully lost their power. And not their political power, but their cultural power. The power of that left-wing mob that came from the fear and the social punishment. Once it went too far, once people stopped caring, once people realized it was all noise from a very loud minority of people, well, that moment is where the power core essentially imploded. And now I think people have realized that the proper response is to look them straight in the face and again, give them the Elon message.
Go yourself.
Because the moment you stop apologizing, once you stop playing their language games, once you stop interacting with them, the entire weapon set becomes useless. You're racist, you're sexist, you're this, you're that, you're phobic. Okay, well, we've heard it a million times. What's next? Any argument? No, of course not. Just empty moral blackmail. And slowly but surely, it's eroding the cultural left. Nobody wants to be a part of that crowd. I mean, if you enjoy anything, if you have love for anything, well, then instantly you see how corrosive it is. Whether it's TV shows, comic books, video games, whatever it is, name a damn thing. They've attempted to ruin everything that everyone loves. And so they just keep pushing people into our warm embrace. We're sitting here waiting with open arms, just waiting for people to have that moment of reckoning, that moment of epiphany. You know, that's how we got Elon Musk. They tried to cancel him 1,000 different ways. He was their best freaking ally, the richest man on planet Earth, devoting his entire life to innovative technologies to help tackle the planet's biggest and most pressing environmental issues. But he was in favor of free speech. He didn't fall for all the, COVID propaganda. And so they turned on him. The whole crowd, oh, he was a fascist too, right? Instantly, Elon Musk became a danger to democracy. He has particular views on the trans issue because of his experience with his own child. Oh, well, he must be Adolf Hitler. And so they went after his companies, his reputation, everything. And then what happened? They drove him right into our arms, and he ended up helping Donald Trump get elected. He bought Twitter, turned it into X, and now we have free speech. And that was a double whammy effect. As the free speech culture that's been cultivated on X, well, it's having a massive empowering effect across the political discussion sphere. People aren't scared to speak the truth anymore. They're not intimidated by the woke cancel mob. So I guess we should be thanking these leftoid lunatics because once again, they're pushing more and more normal people to our side. A guy who last week was just talking about credit scores is now weaponizing his platform against these idiotic leftoids. I am not complaining. I am not trying to stop them in the least. No, keep at it, leftoids. Keep trying to destroy every mildly non-compliant YouTuber, every comedian who makes a joke that you don't like, every normal person who doesn't tiptoe around every single taboo issue like he's walking through an ideological minefield. Keep screaming, keep screeching, keep seething, keep crying, keep posting your schizophrenic ramblings because all you are doing is essentially ensuring that woke culture gets written out of history. And if the polls are right about Gen Z, well, then that's probably coming a whole lot sooner than you could have ever imagined. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Okay, so let's keep it moving. Another Benny Johnson. Okay, what's this about?
What's up, guys? Benny. In the middle of Epstein Gate, I got a phone call from a top-level Trump administration official telling me that there really is nothing else inside of the Epstein file. And I said, well, what about passports? What about him having passports for like dozens of different countries under different names? You know, that's very mysterious. It's something that a normal person can't get. It's illegal, but he was allowed to have this. And they were like, we've never even heard of that. That's what they told me. I was like, this is part of the lore. It's been part of the court documents for a long time. We've never seen them, but could you just release that to the public? Well, now it's happened, along with a ton of other very interesting and extremely suspicious proof that Epstein was a spy for Mossad, the CIA was clearly operating on behalf of our intel agencies. It is clear as day now, and you can see, of course, some of the, well, sick things that he did to women in these new releases that were just delivered to the public, photos from the Epstein estate. Unseen photo reveals that Bill Clinton and brought Jeffrey Epstein to a king's wedding. Totally crazy. There's Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein at the king's wedding here in Morocco. Yeah, crazy. Muhammad's wedding. Don't worry, they were just like hanging out together, all in the world, going to king's weddings. But I'm sure nothing bad ever happened with Bill Clinton and this guy.
Lord.
You know, the dude in the tub, right? Surrounded by all the young and underage women. Nothing ever happened with Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton never had any problems with young women.
You're on the border.
Never been a thing for Bill. New Epstein files reveal sickening photos of women with vile Lolita messages scrawled all over their body. Remember that the Lolita Express is named after a quote from a novel about a middle-aged man's sexual obsession with a very young girl. You can see right here is Jeffrey Epstein with what looks like extremely young girls. Looks like he's putting on a tracking device on one of them. Not exactly sure, but here is some of the proof. Here's the Lolita book, and this woman is getting scrawled on her. She was plain low in the morning, standing 4'10" in one sock. Very little girl at that. Here's Bill Gates standing with an unnamed, redacted young woman here inside the private airport. You can see
Bill Gates must be taking a shit right now.
So sad about his all of the times he spent with Jeffrey Epstein. He was so sad about it. In fact, one time he said on TV,
You know, I've said I regretted having those dinners, and there's absolutely nothing new on that.
Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so you know, in general, you always have to be careful.
Yeah, our elites are freaking terrifying. This is in the aftermath of the Jeffrey Epstein murder in federal prison. And here's Bill Gates just sneering and smiling about it, saying, you got to be careful. Jeffrey Epstein being careful. Look at these photos. The tip of her tongue taking a trip. It says right here, written on a girl's chest. And more written on, seems like her back, scrawled across her back. Again, here's very young women, have to be at least half Epstein's age, maybe more, inside of what looks like a private jet or a helicopter with him. Here's Bill Gates again, inside of what looks like a hotel room with another young woman. Jeez. And here are the passports. His passport page includes a stamp that he's a registered sex offender convicted of sex offense against a minor. No big deal. Everyone's just hanging out with him. Have the time of their life. Here's Woody Allen. Here come the other passports. Look at some of these messages. I don't know. Try to send somebody else. Here is, and let's get some context for this. Screenshot of text messages from an unknown sender. Refers to an 18-year-old from Russia. Ugh. Have a friend. Scout sent me some girls today. She is asking $1,000 per girl. She'll send you girls now. Maybe someone will be good for Jay, assuming this is Jeffrey Epstein. Name, height, measurements, departure city of Russia. It's like into sex trafficking. But don't worry, Bill Clinton did nothing wrong. Bill Clinton didn't do anything wrong.
Bill Gates.
I mean, it's amazing. We have
Bills,
said this.
what's going on? Bill was
they're
crazy.
They're swinging for Trump here, and they're gonna hit Bill Gates. They're gonna hit their biggest donors. Here's more of photos of women getting, scrawled on here. Some of the text messages. House Democrats release new Epstein photos. And here's, again, there you go, writing on her neck, feet, thigh, chest. Of the Lolita, the novel, but also the name of the Lolita Express. And now, finally, photos of the inside of the temple. Of course, the creepy temple. Remember this? So, of course, you've seen this temple before. You've seen maybe some drone footage of it. And now it's been confirmed that there is a mattress inside of that temple. Are there tunnels underneath the island? That's what many have speculated. Perhaps something underground here. I guess we're not exactly sure. There certainly was a mattress inside of this temple. Very dusty, strange-looking temple. Looks like it was under construction at the time. Here's a photo of what looks like a construction fabrication house. You can see some cement mix there. So here we go. Here's Jeffrey Epstein's American passport. Here is his convicted sex offender code in the back. But don't you worry, he also had a Russian passport. They blocked out the names. Isn't that interesting?
Wow.
Because they're not his name. He has all these passports under different names. Dude was such an intel agent.
Wow.
Here you go, Saudi Arabian passport, Italian driver's license, Czech passport, Republic of South African passport. Why would they cross out his name? Why would they cross out his name if it's just like his information? We already know the name Jeffrey Epstein. Because it's not his name. Because they're pseudonyms given to him. Because he was a spy. That's how you get these. You're a spy. Ukrainian passport, of course. Lithuanian passport. There's Noam Chomsky on the private jet. Obviously, Bill Gates. Sergey Brin of Google. These are the young women. No idea who they are. Very sorry that happened. Here's Steve Bannon. Obviously, with the creepy photo there that everybody looked at. It looked like a seemingly passed out underage girl. Photo of her on Jeffrey Epstein's desk. Jeffrey Epstein's desk is very odd. Steve Bannon was working with Jeffrey Epstein. Photo out of his kitchen here. This is his kitchen on Little St. James. Photo in his bathroom, including, some nudity. Looks like just paintings. Again, inside of the temple. Is there any more proof? How do you get this many passports? Is there any more proof that you need? As a sex offender, this dude has passports from a dozen different countries at least, with different names and different identities.
He has to be an agent.
He was an effing spy.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
He was an agent.
Intel op to kill him. It has been confirmed now with this. Was he working for the CIA, Mossad, all of it?
I think it was Mossad.
Boy, it'd be nice to get
Same who allegedly killed Charlie, right? Who knows if Charlie's dead or not, right? Who knows? All right, let's see what we got here. See what this is about here.
Now, with some new information, is someone who has been covering this story since the beginning. It's Alpha News journalist Liz Collin. Liz, thanks for being with us. You've been all over this story. What's the latest out of Minnesota?
Yeah, we heard some pretty shocking numbers today, Will, at that press conference, talking about $18 billion paid out through these 14 programs that First Assistant U.S. Attorney Joe Thompson focused on. And he said, in his own words today, more than half of that money seems to be fraudulent. And the reporter asked as much as $10 billion. Explosive growth of these programs, focusing on just a few in these last few years. But I'll say that we've been checking out a lot of this for ourselves through many tips from our readers and viewers. And just this week, we visited dozens that seem almost written in AI, would even look to be phony websites. And you can see hundreds of thousands of dollars. Millions of dollars if you go ahead and total it up for the last few years. And there you see it, some nice luxury cars right in the parking lot of some of these businesses. We heard more about that today as well. Where's all this money going? Funneled to other countries. We heard that from Joe Thompson today to Kenya. Someone even bought a semi truck expensive
Oh.
homes, international travel, you
Yeah.
name it. That's where this money has gone. But really just eye-popping to see those numbers today in that press conference, Will.
So just to be clear, Liz, okay, because I think this story is incredibly important. Unfortunately, though, it can also, the perpetrators exist in the realm of phantoms for many people watching. Like, who are the bad guys? Who are the criminals? And that's why we got to put names and faces to this as well. And even the dollars and even when it's, but I just want to be clear about one.
Attorney's office are Somali. It was 4 of the 6 today as well. But this really is out in the open. You can see it for yourself. The nice cars, the nice homes. How that it's hard to say just where this dollar amount actually does stop.
That's incredible. It's truly incredible. Please keep us up to date, Liz. You're doing incredible.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
That's
Hey,
crazy.
click here to subscribe
Right.
to Fox News YouTube.
Okay, let's go on and set up for the last show of the night. That one's going to be reserved for Tyson Del Cruz. Wasn't able to make it to tonight's show because one, he had some business to take care of, which is very important. And two, I was doing the Avatar movie review because I went to go see it today. And let me tell you something, it's okay. The only thing that I'm going back to the movie review before I go to the Tyson Del Cruz. Back to the movie review. Remember the boy with he's like half nude, pretty much. Like he was showing a lot of like side ass. I call him like the side ass because that's all you were getting in this movie was a lot of that boy's side ass. Well, it continues in this movie, and there's a lot of this ass like showing all over in the movie. Like, I don't understand why they have to make his like why you have to show the side of his body, like his ass. It's like, it's just, I don't know. Disney is just very perverted, and I just feel like I don't know. They shouldn't need. I don't know. It was just felt weird. But the movie, I mean, like it jumps to a lot of conclusions, and it's kind of like I feel like this movie was like they're not sure type of movie, and then they just like, all right, let's just put something together, and then hopefully we could make enough ticket money that they'll say, okay, we're gonna go ahead and green light another one. I don't know, because when I went to go see it for the premiere, like the early, and I saw it at the 2:15 show. It was pretty empty. There was like maybe, besides me, there was probably like 3 other people. That was it. Like 5 people in total for the whole theater. So it was like empty for a preview, like for the early release. So that was like maybe a telltale sign for what's to come. I think SpongeBob is probably going to make more money just because it's Christmas and SpongeBob is pretty popular at the moment, especially their cards are pretty expensive. Like the Topps SpongeBob cards, like you get some hits and they're worth thousands of dollars. It's like, wow, holy shit. I wish fucking Walmart, not Walmart, but only Walgreens too. I wish Walgreens sold the damn Topps SpongeBob. Now, no, those cards they selling them like this is one channel. I saw them; they were selling them for like $40-something a pack. Like for one pack, I think it was like $44 or something like that for one pack. One. I was like, oh my god, for SpongeBob. Yep, and I truly feel like the card industry is such a money laundering operation, you know, because you could put all the money that you get and just put it all in the cards, and then you could actually go buy them. You don't need to open rip packs to find them. You could just go to a card shop and just buy the cards and then just sit on them, and if the value goes up on them, you may bank, so sometimes like it's kind of like an investment, to be honest with you, with freaking these Pokemon cards. It's crazy. It is a fever, and I wanted to get back into a hobby, and I think like card collecting hobby, it seems like it would be pretty cool, something to do on the side, because I used to do it when I was younger, and I used to like trying to complete sets. There's like a set that I'm not completed on, but it's a very expensive. At that time, it was very expensive for a box of they call them flare back in the days, and they were baseball cards, and they were very beautiful cards, and like that set I'm not completed on, and I wish I could complete it, but I wonder how much it would be to get a box from 90, I think it was like 93, 94. It's crazy. All right, so let's go ahead and watch the last video of the night. And of course, that is reserved for Tyson. So let's go ahead and set this up. Okay, so it dropped. Okay, because of the sound. Let's set it up. I think it's this one. Yeah. All right, let's resize it. And let's watch. Let's put the sound up.
Safe. Again, a wild takeover at a local 7-Eleven like this one.
America,
That's
Los
crazy.
Angeles is experiencing a complete collapse of law and order, and now we know why. The LAPD is facing a staffing crisis so severe they literally don't have enough money to train new officers. Mayor Karen Bass is begging the city council for $4.4 million just to keep the hiring going through January, but they only approved $1 million. Meanwhile, teen mobs are swarming 7-Elevens in broad daylight. Neighborhoods are experiencing daily trash fires and crimes, and residents have completely given up hope that anything will change.
Yeah, that's wild.
Mayor Karen Bass is asking the city council to find millions of dollars to hire more LAPD officers.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for
Find the money.
This is what happens when you
What?
elect progressive politicians who defund the police, demonize law enforcement, then act shocked when nobody wants to be a cop anymore and the city descends into complete chaos. Let me break down this absolute dumpster fire that is LA's police staffing situation. Mayor Karen Bass sent a letter to the city council saying that without $4.4 million in funding, LAPD would be unable to continue hiring starting in January. there will be no new cadets in the police academy, and current officers would face longer shifts and heavier workloads. The $4.4 million would go towards hiring 170 more LAPD officers over the next 6 months. That's all necessary procedures to hire, train, and equip new officers. But the city council only approved $1 million, which is enough for one class of 240 recruits starting training in January. That's it. Now here's the context that makes this even more insane. Los Angeles has 3.8 million people, yet LAPD only has 2 officers for every 1,000 residents. Let that sink in, guys. Compare that to New York City, which has more than double LA's population, but 4 officers for every 1,000 residents. LA is operating with half the police presence of New York City.
LAPD has been spread way too thin. From the fires on January 7th to the civil unrest to today, we've watched them struggle to balance everyday needs with those concurrent commitments to staff multiple ongoing events and emergencies.
Police Chief Jim McDonald said they must close the gap to keep Los Angeles safe, especially as they're preparing for the 2028 FIFA World Cup and the 2028 Olympics. Los Angeles can't even protect its families, grow the economy, or welcome the world without a strong, well-supported police department. But here's my question. Who the heck wants to be a police officer in Los Angeles? You have zero support from your leadership. Mayor Karen Bass has shown exactly what type of leader she is. We've seen her priorities. She's more concerned about appearing progressive than actually protecting the people who elected her, if anybody actually did. Now, the city council's hesitation to approve the full $4.4 million isn't coming out of nowhere. Earlier this year, Los Angeles faced a $1 billion budget shortfall that required layoffs and restructuring across multiple departments. So the question becomes, does the city even have $4.4 million to spend on police hiring? Mayor Karen Bass says it's up to the city council to decide on how to come up with the money, but multiple council members have noted that allocating such a large chunk would likely come out of another department. Some council members are expressing frustration at being rushed into a major funding decision right before the holidays.
Do we follow a budget process that's grounded in honesty and fiscal solvency? Or do we set aside our process to meet an entirely manufactured deadline?
One council member said the health and safety of its constituents is the #1 priority, and this will help them start growing back the numbers of where the city needs to be. But another council member questioned whether this is really an emergency or just a manufactured urgency. The biggest concern for many council members was getting money from the reserve funds, which is designated only for emergencies. But here's the reality, at least in my opinion, this isn't a manufactured crisis. LAPD has been hemorrhaging officers for years. They're losing 316 officers per month. The department is critically understaffed, and now they literally don't have enough money to train new recruits. That is not manufactured. That is a real public safety emergency. Now let's talk about what's happening in these LA streets. While politicians debate funding, last weekend, dozens of teenagers on bikes swarmed a 7-Eleven in downtown LA like a pack of hungry wolves, stealing everything in sight. Someone wearing a mask pointed a gun at an employee while the rest of the group ransacked the store, throwing merchandise out to the accomplices waiting outside. The store clerk hit the panic button like that's actually going to help, because by the time LAPD showed up, everybody was gone. No arrests, no consequences, absolutely nothing. Now listen to what one teen said on camera while bragging about the robbery. It's worth it because they don't got my face. Think about what that statement reveals. This kid knows he's committing a crime. He knows he's being recorded, but he also knows there will be no consequences because LA doesn't prosecute these crimes seriously. He's wearing a mask specifically because he understands the game. As long as they can't identify you, you can do whatever you want in LA. And what's the community's response? One resident said it happens everywhere.
It looked like a bunch of kids. So I'm not surprised.
She's not surprised. This has become so normal in Los Angeles that residents just expect their business to be robbed by teenagers. But another resident made excuses.
Probably don't have the money for food. If you literally go up that block, there's so many homeless people down there.
It's a systematic issue. Are you kidding me? These kids are stealing energy drinks and candy, not bread and milk. They're
crazy.
not starving for Marvin. They're criminals who absolutely know there will be no consequences for their actions.
Small business owners and even
That's
large
horrible.
business owners across this county have been on the front lines, essentially trying to fight crime on their own.
This is the culture that progressive policies create. You defund the police. You elect district attorneys who refuse to prosecute crimes. And you teach
All the
kids that
kids,
they're victims of
man.
society instead of responsible
Back in
for
the
their own
days,
choices.
boy.
And then everybody acts shocked when teen mobs start looting
But this
stores in
what
broad
happens
daylight.
when you
This
have
is what
weak-
happens when you create an environment where
Yeah,
crime
exactly.
has no consequences. But the teen mob robberies are just one symptom of LA's collapse. Let me tell you about something that's happening in South LA, because this is where you see a complete breakdown of city services and public safety. There is an area in LA County that has gotten so bad that rubbish fires and illegal dumping happen every single day. Firefighters
my
at Station
God.
64 in Watts say easily 95% of their fires they respond to are homeless fires. They literally just pulled back into the station from one when news crews showed up. Since January 1st, get this, there have been 500 homeless fires reported. And that's just in the city. Double, triple that if you include the county fires. But the fires are just the beginning. Business owners in the area describe it as pretty lawless. That is absolutely sad.
Pretty lawless out here.
Wow.
I feel like people feel unsafe. The kids aren't allowed to go outside on their own without, being with
Supervised.
adult supervision.
This is an area that's been home to a real
As you
estate
should.
and
You should
manufacturing
be
business for
supervising your
nearly
kids.
half a century. The owner, Caesar, said it's gotten worse in recent years, and the reason is absolutely simple. This area is a judicial nightmare. You've got federal property owned by Union Pacific Railroad, state property owned by Caltrans, City of Los Angeles property, and unincorporated LA County property all in the same area, and they all point fingers at one another. Sounds like typical Los Angeles leadership. The 110 and 105 interchange, you might recognize it from the famous opening scene of La La Land where everybody's dancing on the freeway, has been home to continuous rubbish fires, homeless encampments, and trash for years. More than 1,000 fires in this area since January alone. Now let me tell you about the other crimes happening in the area because it gets even more disturbing. Business owners report masked men rolling up with AK-47s. There's constant graffiti and illegal dumping. One business owner said they had 400 pounds of pork shoulder marinating on Figueroa and 127th that was dumped overnight. Then on Saturday, they had 1,000 pounds of pork ribs dumped on the street. What the heck is going on in LA? We got a homeless buffet going on here. But the most disturbing thing, bodies being dumped on the railroad tracks. One incident involved a woman laying in the middle of the tracks. The train couldn't stop in time and unfortunately hit her and severed her leg. And then get this, a homeless person actually took the leg into an encampment.
What?
I can't do it with you anymore, LA. I cannot. Community
He took the
advocate
leg?
David Matthews found the woman's leg on 110th and Redondo Beach Boulevard. He said, thank God it wasn't in a storm drain because we have people living in storm drains right now. What the heck? Think about that statement, guys. People across all major cities, not just in LA, but people are living in storm drains in Los Angeles. And that is accepted as normal.
There was a woman laying in the middle of the tracks and the train couldn't stop in time, so it hit her and it severed her leg. And then a homeless person actually took the leg into an encampment.
This 8-square-mile danger zone has been
the
pleading for
hell?
help from local leaders, but their constant requests have been lost down a dark hole. One
the
business owner said, I'm
leg?
sick and tired of all the barriers and all the BS and all the excuses. The family that runs a business just wants some law and order in
Ew.
Los Angeles. They said everyone pays their taxes. California is one of the most expensive states to live in, and we
Yeah,
feel like
it
our
is.
tax money should be coming up with solutions instead of the problems getting even bigger. What's happening in Watts isn't isolated. This is a pattern across Los Angeles, the burning city, understaffed police department, overwhelmed fire departments, business owners under siege, residents who've given up hope, and politicians who make excuses instead of solving the problems. Our good friend Gavin Newsom just announced a model ordinance that's supposed to give local jurisdiction the ability to make positive change when it comes to the homeless encampments. If encampments are there for more than 3 days, or if people are sleeping on sidewalks, this gets rid of any excuses and allows them to take action. We'll see where that goes. But here's the problem. LA already has legal authority to clear encampments. The issue isn't legal barriers. The issue is political will. Mayor Karen Bass and the city council don't want to clear encampments because it goes against their progressive ideology. They'd rather let neighborhoods burn and businesses get destroyed than admit their policies have failed.
How do we get this to stop?
Well, I mean, I don't even know because kids don't listen in general. But maybe if parents start teaching their kids to be more respectful.
Listen to how defeated that resident just sounded. How do we get this to stop? I don't even know. That's what happens when you destroy the family structure, eliminate consequences for bad behavior, and teach kids they're victims instead of responsible for their choices. America, Los Angeles is experiencing a complete collapse of law and order. The LAPD doesn't have enough money to train new officers. Teen mobs are looting stores in broad daylight with zero consequences. Neighborhoods are experiencing daily trash fires, illegal dumping, and violent crimes. Bodies are being dumped on railroad tracks. Homeless people are living in storm drains, and residents have completely given up that anything will change. Mayor Karen Bass begged for $4.4 million to hire 170 new officers, and the city council gave her $1 million. Meanwhile, LA is prepping to host the World Cup and Olympics with half the police presence of New York City. Who would want to be a cop in a city where the mayor doesn't support you? The DA doesn't prosecute criminals, and teen mobs can rob stores with impunity. The business owner in Watts said it perfectly. Everyone pays their taxes. California is one of the most expensive states to live in, and taxpayers feel like their money should be coming up with solutions instead of the problems getting bigger. But folks, we all know that is how progressive governance works. They take your money, they defund the police, they enable criminals and homeless encampments, and then lecture you about compassion while your neighborhood burns. LA isn't experiencing a funding crisis, it's experiencing a leadership crisis. Until voters elect leaders who prioritize law-abiding citizens over criminals, the collapse will only accelerate. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you, Jason, for a great upload. Really appreciate it. We're gonna most likely do a makeup show with Tyson. Like I said, business comes first. And he had important things he had to take care of, but he'll be here. Well, it'll probably be a surprise. You'll be like, oh shit, type of like a oh shit moment. But how are we rewarding bad behavior? Like, how is LA still getting the Olympics? How is they still getting the World Cup? Help me make that make sense, because I'm so fucking confused. Like, California is a shit. It's like a shit show. It's like, oh God, I don't even want to start. I want to go to sleep. I'm getting tired. Fuck that shit, right? I am done for the night. I am tired. I'm ready to go to bed. It's already that 11:09 p.m. Past that 3-hour mark on the show, so I'm ready to go. So have a good morning, good afternoon, and a good night, and I'll catch you on the flip side. And be back on here tomorrow, same time, same place. I don't know if it's gonna be 7:30 or 8. I don't know. I'm not confirmed yet for tomorrow because like my body is already achy, and I know rain is coming. I hate it because it's like I'm not gonna have a good night's sleep. It's just gonna suck, and just be lucky that you're not going through what I go through. You wouldn't want this. Trust me. It's very punishing. But hey, thank God you're alive, right? And thank God we're witnessing what we're witnessing on a daily basis, because every day is a new day, and every day there's a lot of news to catch up on. And I'm thankful for you guys for watching, and I appreciate you guys so much. And hopefully next year the show will grow now organically. I want it to be organic. The numbers, YouTube is not pushing my show. This like help me make it make sense, right? So my subscription count is still at the same, 518. Hasn't moved in months, and it's not gonna move because YouTube really doesn't want me to get attention, which is okay. It's fine. But we'll see what happens in 2026. I don't know if I'm gonna continue with StreamYard. I may want to seek options because I hate them cutting my sound out. I hate when like things doesn't work properly. It's just a lot of hate. It's nothing positive. It's crazy. There's a lot of improvements that they need to do, but they're just doing way too much on other areas they really don't need to. And it makes the process much harder and slower. And it's very frustrating, especially when it cuts out the sound of my show, and then I have to like reset the whole thing in order to get the sound back. It's just ridiculous. But this is my hate, I guess. It's like I hate that. I hate when it happens. But stay away from large groups, okay? This Christmas, this New Year's, it's a high alert for something to happen. I don't really want it to, but it's just they're here, and they're gonna do what they're gonna do, and they already listen. They have a lot of sleeper cells here. We have like over 18 to over maybe 25,000 like people of foreign I would say not good people. I want to be careful with YouTube because YouTube is very sensitive. So fuck you, YouTube. Right at the end. There's just a lot of things going on. It's just, and MK Ultra is in full effect right now. I feel like everyone is just hypnotized. A lot of people are hypnotized still, and they know they need a break from the hypnosis of what they're going through on a daily basis. Because like I just feel like people are just programmed in a wrong frequency, and it's just really odd, weird. I've never experienced this like back in the 80s or even in the 90s. It just started like really like to take like strong effect during the Obama years. And then like it got weirder down the line. And then when Biden took on office, that shit was a fucking opening Pandora's box, and just fucking everything was just upside down. Everything was crazy. I felt like I was living in an insane asylum in the United States. Like I'm the fucking crazy one, but the crazy ones are running the show. Like, are you kidding me, right? Like, what's happening here? Anyways, let me stop rambling because I want to get to bed. Remember, Avatar 7.3 of my books. If you want to invest 3 hours and 30 minutes, depending on your location, on previews, be like, you let me know in the comments how long was your previews for the movie. And I think mine was about like 15 minutes. So like the whole experience was like 3 hours and like 30 minutes, 3 hours and 30 minutes of my life watching Avatar. The picture looked great. The picture did look great. Like everything looked like Pandora. I was back in Pandora, and in 3D too. So everything's like, it was really cool. It was very clear, and there was a lot of that boy in this movie, and he just kept showing the side of his ass way too much, and then bending down too. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, what's like Disney? Are you for real? Like, we're trying to cut this type of, and then you just keep pushing it on these movies, and that's why your movies like tank, because stop exploiting like these young actors and have them in certain positions to fulfill a movie and fulfill other people's like fantasies and shit. It's disgusting, but that's Disney, and that's like what they want to do, and it's that's the only thing I didn't really like about it, because they keep showing like the side ass. It's just weird. But 7.3, that's my review, and I'm going to bed. Thank you so much for, let me see, well, do a rain check. Yeah. Yeah. No pun intended. I will do that. Yeah, I'm thinking the Tuesday, the 23rd, possibly like taking the trip up there. I think it would probably be better than dealing with this rain, because this rain is really like, I'm feeling it, and I'm ready to go to bed. I'm in that like zone of like, I'm ready to go to bed, I'm ready to go to sleep, but I know I'm gonna be interrupted, rude awakening, of course, with my head, and then just my body's just feeling weird, because that's the rain coming, and I hate it. I don't know if I could stay in Connecticut forever. I don't think it would be a possible thing for me, because it seems like the energy up here when it comes to the rain, and not only the rain, but the pressures, because we got these low pressure systems that come through, and they really affect me, and it hurts my neck, and it radiates down to my back, um and it goes down one of my leg. It goes down my left leg all the way down to my ankle and the bottom of my foot. It might be sciatica. I'm not sure. I have not been diagnosed with that yet. I will run it through my doctors. I did let my chiropractor know today, so he's aware of it. He made documentations on that. I do have an appointment with my primary, so I'll let her know, and we'll see. I start the physical therapy again in January, so I'll let them know too, and what's going on with that. And I know it's coming from my back, the discs. I got herniated discs in my back, and I have really really bad back problems. So, um, I don't think going under knife is the answer, you know. But I just need some kind of solution, and I'm not willing to take no injections in my spine. No, thank you. I've done that before, and I'm not a fan of it. Cortisone shots, it's not my thing. I just don't like needles, and the fact that they're going like right into the spine and just putting this foreign liquid inside of me, that does not sit well with me. And I've heard it brittles your bones within time, if you continue to get those cortisone shots like that. I'm not wanting to be a cripple by the age of 50. I stopped that years ago, and I told my doctors, listen, that's not a no go for me, because it really, the last time I had a cortisone shot, I ended up getting really sick from it, and I didn't feel good at all. But yeah, so let me stop rambling. I'm ready to go to bed. I'll catch y'all on the flip side again, and good night, everyone. And Avatar, it's okay. If you don't want to see it, you don't have to. If you would like to see it, go see it. Um, it's an investment of 3 hours and a half of your life. So, with that said, good night.